everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon. Welcome back to another episode of The Long March, as we're back today. Not with our previous host, the greatest D&D host of all time, Gregor Tuscan, instead back with me. So this is what you've got today, I'm afraid. Let's go around the cast and crew. Let's figure out who we are and who we're playing today. Start with our Dungeon Master, Josh. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. I'm recovering from an encounter meet-up, which was a thing that happened. It was good. It was good. Lots of occurrences, and super psyched about that. So I'm back to take out all my anger and vengeance on everyone here gathered today.
Amazing. We also have Laurelania with us today. Laurelania, how you doing?
I'm great. Sorry, I was still moving my setup around. I totally forgot that Gregor was our host last week. That was a thing that happened and can never unhappen.
Nope.
I'm Laura Lenia. I am here on Twitch and a whole bunch of other places on the internet, and I play a dark elf named Zune. And I had a whole 8 hours sleep today, so let's do stuff. Let's play D&D. Yeah.
Whoa, what is that like? Amazing.
Woo!
Great. We also have Tool School with us tonight. How you doing, Tool School?
Hey, I'm doing great. I am looking forward to today's session. We got to see some fun new stuff out of Gavin last week. Let's stay tuned to see what else I was able to guilt out of our DM after he had, the character that was like my first character that's like arguably me, kill his god, lose his magic armor that he'd been working on for like 3 different campaigns, break his weapon named after said god on my birthday. And so I guilted a few concessions out of our DM, and you got to see some of them last time.
Hey, I blew your arm off as well, like fucking.
And yes, I lost my arm because it's not like I'm a blacksmith or anything.
Let's not skimp on details here, buddy.
Absolutely.
So but more to come with, like I said, how much I was able to guilt out of my DM. Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Louise back with us today. Louise, how you doing?
I'm back. I sound like awful because my mic's broken, but we're making do with what we have. So yeah, I'm very excited to be back. I've missed multiples of episodes. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Remind us who you're playing as well.
I'm playing Kasna, who is a drow fighter, adopted mother of a tiefling, a vampire, and more, I'm sure.
And so much more. Amazing. As myself, I'll be playing last week's host, Gregor Tuscan, who is Dwarf Fighter Warlock, who's currently in the Underdark, and he might be an intellect devourer, as far as you're concerned. As far as Zune is concerned, he definitely is. So, yeah, I'm going to be sticking close to Zune tonight, and...
It's not funny.
I'm going to be eating her brains.
It's not funny. You think you're funny, but it's terrible. Stay away from me.
Yeah, no one knows, Littlefoot. But yeah, that's the show tonight. Before we dive into the recap, remind you guys, we're sponsored by D&Dice.co.uk. Boom! Get 5% off all of their 60 beautiful dice at D&Dice.co.uk, and use the coupon code EncounterRoleplay at checkout, and you save yourself some sweet cash. Josh's going to show you some of the dice from D&Dice now, his live show. There we go, beautiful, blue and gold, bellissimo. Check it out, my friends. I keep the show running, but let's remind ourselves of what happened previously on the show as well, because it's been a whole thing. Oh, and before we do, you can interact with today's show. Follow, retweet, 20 retweets, 20 followers. You guys get to decide what happens next in the campaign, and of course you can donate to affect the game as well. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and so much worse. Check it out, enjoy yourselves, and I'm going to hand over to Josh to talk about last week's session.
As I ran over, so excited about my new dice, I stepped on my mic, on my headphone cable, and like jerked my headphone down. I think I've fractured my neck. Went so well. But check out these bad boys. Look at that, gorgeous. Okay, so last episode, things that happened. Last episode, you guys were having a chat in the council chambers, which is this upside down pyramid. That hangs on the roof of this cavern area over the town of Thel. The town of Thel being a fallen dwarven drow city. Sorry, everything is dwarven in Gregor's eyes. I'm still shaking off last
right.
week. Yeah. House Thel is a city of drow. It's not a particularly big city. It's certainly not a particularly wealthy city, but the people there have been making do as best they can. But they've got a bit of a threat, a bit of a problem that they need you guys to deal with. And they were in the middle of telling you all about this threat when they were attacked. The city started to catch a blaze as an anarchist group turned up and started to really ruin your day. So the party went down. We had some interesting things. The enemy found out very quickly that firebombing Gregor Tuscan was a terrible idea because it never, ever fucking works. They also realized that killing a load of people and then forgetting to do anything with the bodies and leaving Zune to walk through the plaza meant Zune suddenly had a small army of undead to fight them, and that no matter how tough or badass you may think you are, you can fortify a building as much as you want, but when Gavin decides to go full-on Thor in like Ragnarok and come for your ass, you best run, because he straight up like thunderclap teleported into a building and killed 3 people in about 4 seconds flat. It was glorious. Him and Gregor just absolutely wrecked a load of stuff. But while all this chaos was going on, Zune decided to take a little detour and go try and find something that I have described as about the size of a cat. And it was what was later on discovered to be a brain with legs. She ran the fuck away, very, very scared, having had
tactical retreat. I am not
tactical
afraid
retreat. You are not afraid of anything, but do realize that if Will is actually an intellect devourer, he can get into your real brain through your earphones. Considered that? Yeah, there we go. So, he's you made a tactical retreat, gathered the boys, got everyone to go into the room, specifically sent Gregor in first and left it a good 10 seconds before you went in after him, and found no trace of anything. So you are now aware that there is an intellect devourer loose in the city somewhere. You don't know where it is, and it is problematic for you. So have decided to go and try and track down. The only person who seemed to be able to find it was Gavin, who spotted it on the outskirts of the city, and he has decided to run after. You guys all ran after this group who attacked you to their other cavern, where they are basically just have a refugee camp, which they launched this attack from. And does anyone remember the last thing you guys saw when you arrived? You got some sick-ass mounts. You rode over there. You came out. You had a great vantage spot. You looked down into this small camp where
they'll just fucking start killing the dude, right?
Yeah, they burned the guy, and then a brain with legs popped out in his lap, and they firebombed.
They firebombed the hell out of him. Yes. So they when they returned,
I was gonna say, the only thing that's like seen more fire damage is like Zune's hands.
This is yes. Have inspiration, Tool Squall. Love it. I feel
there's a fire department specifically just for Zune's hands.
This is
911 emergency response.
It's the new Gavin.
Let's play the game. Let's go. Let's play some D&D. I'm ready. I'm coming for you.
Right. So we see you guys looking down on the campfire, which is being dwarfed by the much larger fire, which is right next to it. There is a pyre, essentially, that was about 30 seconds prior. One of these anarchist groups, one of these terrorists who's attacked and sort of attacked you at the town you've been holed up in, and his body is sort of tied to a chair, and he's just burnt beyond recognition, and all around him, sort of the floor is caught and scorched. But there is a huge group. Every single person seems to be present and has gathered round and are now just sort of looking nervous. But there's no talking, there's no chit chat. It is definitely quiet, apart from the crackling flames. What do you guys do?
What the fuck, though? So that is what one of them look like, Sam. That's what one of those things is inside my brain right now. Hey.
I should hope not. It's not likely that they're going to treat us very well. We're outsiders. We're likely to receive the same treatment if we go up to them. I want to know more about this battle that we're fighting. I want to know more about the other side.
I mean, if those guys are killing the intellect devourers, then maybe they're not the bad guys what we thought we were. You know.
Remind me, is this whole group, I know that we fought some that were tieflings that seem to be members of the Fiend-Touched army. Are these all tieflings, or is it a mixed bag?
You will notice that there is a majority of tieflings. There don't appear to be any Fiend-Touched there. There aren't any full-on half-demon mutated tieflings. There are a lot of tieflings, straight-cut tieflings. A lot of these guys look underfed, pretty fucking exhausted, but there are sporadic smatterings of pale skin. You would probably guess humans, elves, that sort of thing. But being able to tell from this distance is next to impossible. You don't see any drow.
At this distance, I guess it's also impossible to tell what color these tieflings might be, if they're all kind of the same hue, or like maybe it's a family or a clan or something. You
can see there's a bit of a variety. There's red, green, and blue, specifically. There's a couple that the blue is like a really light sort of color. It's like a really pale blue, so it almost looks like a body that you've like a human body that's been left out in like the snow and the ice. That kind of horrible tinge that you get with extreme onset hypothermia. It's not dark like a drow, so you can tell that there definitely aren't any drow in this group.
If we wait some time and rest again, I could replenish some of the few spells I used on the undead, and I could scry over there and get us more information. The only way we're likely to talk to them is through tying a piece of parchment to a stone and throwing it at them and hoping for the best. But I'm starting to feel like we've been put in the middle of something that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have the whole story here, you know?
Well, if you're already, affected by an intellect devourer, dude, why don't you just go walk on over there and talk to them?
I suppose I could give that a go, eh?
Wait, but didn't we just see them kill the person who had an intellect devourer inside of them?
Precisely my point, Mr. Fjordham.
We could definitely give it a try, then we can tell. Can know for sure then, can't we?
I will remind you guys, it's been a whole week. You guys are all wearing the same clothing that those guys are wearing.
We did put on the clothes that they had.
We did.
But I'm worried about us walking up and them being like, no, you're not with us.
Well, especially the drow. Because you said there's absolutely no drow, right?
No drow.
How about dwarves?
There are people in crowds. Give me a perception check, because that's like you're trying to pick out sort of age, and I mean, if
yeah. Well, I'm just saying height wise, someone who's dwarven height. Perception, you say?
Yeah.
17.
Fantastic. You have a look around, and you do notice one or two individuals that are very bearded to be children, but definitely child's height. They don't look. They're sort of spotted throughout the group. It does appear that there are one or two, but not many at all.
Okay. There don't seem to be any drow down there.
Well, I'm willing to go speak with them. Hopefully the sooner it gives Toast Roll advantage. Yeah, I know. Yeah, great. Hey, you can come along as well, Gav. Might as well see what they're up to. We are wearing their uniforms after all.
I can
be the cavalry just in case we get ourselves in trouble.
Cavalry's a very nice place.
I will ride my lizard mount as close as I dare, hopefully within the range of my fly spell. Be prepared for a hasty retreat if need be. You'll be able to fly back to me into the lizards and we can away.
Let's just, get close enough to overhear a conversation or two, you know?
Well, this is still a ludicrous suggestion for me, I think, to show that your intentions are pure, that you are not taken over by an intellect devourer, that you should indeed tie a message to a rock and throw it. Your wariness of getting close to them will perhaps aid in their need and affection. You look sad. Cry a little. You must learn to play upon the emotions of people. It is for your own survival.
I don't know if I want to announce myself, you know. I'd rather just kind of stroll on in there and be like, oh, hey guys, you know. Not here just sitting in the corner having a conversation.
Gregor Tuscan Ooh could go anywhere without announcing himself.
That's not a bad point, I guess. But in this case, I'm willing to forgo my grand name and just have a wee cheeky peeky, as it were.
As you will.
Okay. So Gregor is going on scouting and recon.
Me and Tolskov,
I'm going
me and
with him,
Gava.
so.
Oh, okay.
The boys.
Right. The boys. Right, guys. Are you going on your lizard mounts, or are you going?
I think we'll take our lizard mounts as close as we can, then go on foot, just so they're a little bit handier to get to.
Hey.
I'm gonna need some animal handling checks.
I rolled a nat 20 before. I believe me and this lizard have a connection. Let's see. Even though I have nothing in animal handling.
Yeah.
I have a minus in animal handling, 12.
At 14
Hey,
for me.
Bombard.
On a 12. So I'm gonna make this a straight. Give it 4. Go. Damn. Okay. So you guys approach, and as you do so, it becomes quite apparent that most of the camp is sort of standing directly in the center of what is just a clutch of tents, nothing more. But as you get closer, you're pretty fucking close. These creatures are very, very quiet and don't need to be able to see. They move entirely aware of their surroundings despite the low light conditions. Even with sort of like superior night vision, it is difficult to see down here. It is the only light source is this burning fire, and you get close when suddenly one of the lizards freezes. It is the one that is being ridden by Gregor. It goes entirely, how do I say rigid between your legs without inducing laughter from Will?
Too late.
He's gone all erect on me.
The whole creature just tenses up, and you feel its hackles rise, and it slowly, like, you see it cursing its head round, and you see a tongue flit out as if it's tasting the air like a snake, and its head snaps in one direction, and you hear what can only be described as gravel moving under a boot very, very slowly, as someone or something seems to have caught this thing's attention, and this someone is a lot closer to you than the rest of the camp. It would appear that there is someone who wasn't present for this firebombing in the middle of town, the camp.
Is he like 10 feet away, or is he like all up McGraw?
Probably, you're probably, maybe closer to sort of 5, hidden behind what appears to be a rock that has fallen from the ceiling. But you have no idea what you're looking at, if it's going to be sort of a guy, a girl, big, tall, strong, no idea.
I kind of pause and I hold a arm up for Gavin as like a stop motion. And who goes there?
There's a pause, and after a few seconds, you see a figure slowly edge around the rock, and you see a woman standing there. And she has a bow in her hand. She has an arrow nocked. It is only a short bow. It most definitely is not sort of a military issue. This looks like a sort of a hunter's sort of bow, nothing fancy at all. She has an arrow nocked. She hasn't drawn it, but she does have it loosely aimed in your direction, and her hands are shaking.
Hello, sweet cheeks. No need to worry. Don't go pointing that in my face. I'll bounce right back at you and fucking eviscerate your liver. But anyway, looks like the coast is all clear.
she gives you a confused look, and darts her eyes back towards the camp and then to you, and then suddenly, how's Gavin reacting to this? Mute. He is mute.
He's basically staying still because she emerged out of the darkness, not out of the light, right? Is she backlit?
She's no, not really. Yeah, so
Human.
I suppose Gavin can see pretty much sweet dick all at this point. Gregor, in the low light conditions, you can probably make out that she looks to be human. She is quite frail looking. Has sort of that wiry look of someone who's underfed, gaunt cheeks. But she, as much as her hands shake, she has a really stern, quite expression, and she says, "Your face, I don't know it. Who are you?"
Also, Sniper Sean, thank you for Chig to bring in a monster for the party to slay to ingratiate people towards them. Perfect.
Oh.
Okay. So human looks kind of worried to see me. And I say, I'm not from this unit, but we saw the camp, came towards it, and checked that no one else was coming. The coast is clear. Have you got like a password or something that you use to clear with everyone else? Ours is yeah, I make up some word. Ours is priests. That's a safe word. Ironic, I know.
Roll me a deception check.
I'll drop my nat 20 on this one.
You drop your nat 20. She pauses for a second and says, "As is priests too." Right. Sorry.
Whoa.
We weren't.
Okay.
We weren't expecting anyone else. I didn't know. We've been running for so long. Quick. You should come with me. I'll make introductions and.
What's your name, sweetheart?
Sorry.
What's your name?
Sephirin.
Sephirin. All right. And I've got a companion here. You don't see so well in the dark like you neither. His name's Gavin.
She nods to Gavin. Gavin, unbeknownst to you, someone is nodding at you. Happy days. just like thumbs up in the general darkness.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, I'm dependent on the lizard for getting me around.
And she says, we should probably approach.
Yeah,
carefully.
introduce me. I know that with everything going on there, probably want to check us.
What was your name?
My name, Zune.
This is the best moment of my D&D life. I'm so happy. Zune.
I'm still within earshot, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. Yeah, you hear this?
Well, I'm trying to protect them, so I just shake my head from behind whatever.
If you want to protect them, don't let him be Zune, because that name is fraught with bad luck.
No, let's just see where he goes with this one. This is
Zune. Yeah, it's the name.
I'm right there, right?
Yeah.
Vandry of the House Vandry.
Yep.
Oh, you both suck.
Don't worry, look, you probably haven't heard of us. We're a bunch of cunts, all of us.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm
sure.
oversharing again. I keep doing that. Oversharing. I gotta stop doing that. Why don't you just let me in the camp and... Yeah, don't worry, dude.
I fucking love this so much. This makes me happy. So
also, Kazna has a wild magic surge from Bombard.
Yes, she's so angry. She's so angry.
Somewhere in the universe, Kazna is struck by wild magic.
You know that Madeline Kahn from Clue? Flames crawling up my face.
She has a sense when Gregor was doing something stupid. Like, oh god.
So I follow Sephirin into the camp.
Yeah, and she leads sort of. She turns to sort of like stand before both the lizard creatures. She doesn't seem particularly unnerved by them, but she doesn't like. She tries to sort of move between the two of them, so then their heads aren't directly at her back, and she walks forward and just says, no sudden movements, and if you have any gifts, maybe don't overshare.
No, I'm surprisingly untalented.
Oh,
I talk a big talk, but really I end up doing very little.
I'm sure House Fandry is well, and she decides to just call it there and walks forward and I'm sorry to hear that. Well, there are some other of your kind here, although we don't generally see many dwarves. Some of the others, the tieflings in particular, might not warm to you, so I would let me do the talking initially. And
okay, I'm a very personable person.
That's good to hear. And all this time, sort of like she's leading you forward very carefully.
I I don't make friends that easily, but once I do, they're for life. I put down the lack of easy to make friendships as the horrific daddy issues I have from growing up without any cuddles whatsoever.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So oversharing again, my bad.
Is she being genuine in her concern for them, or is she kind of like leading them towards like come this way to a trap kind of feel?
Roll me an insight check.
I'm starting to.
A resplendent offering.
Okay, Israel Vernay's £25, one magic surge for Will, 2 for Zune, 1 for Gavin, and a potion for Kazna. Thank you, Israel.
Woo! Thank you.
What's my roll for a potion again?
It's D33, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's 33.
There you go.
So she begins leading you forward and just says, "Look, we really would appreciate your help at the moment. We've lost quite a few in that raid, and well, I'll let someone else bring you up to speed."
Yeah, please, because we got lost in all the madness. Just came down here because we figured that's where we should be going. But I mean, in the madness of everything, I took a fair hit on the head, and a fair bit of stuff's been knocked out of me, I have to say.
Well, I'll do what I can to see to helping you, but really, and you're not the worst we've got to deal with. The raid was for medicine, and we have frightfully little as it is, and few cases of treatable conditions. She sort of pauses, and she's having to the reason you guys are approaching slow is partly to make sure that she doesn't trip over anything, but also she is almost as blind as Gavin, it would seem, and is having to pick her way across razor sharp rocks, which is no problem for your lizard creature. So really she's having to lean on you guys every now and again, but you guys reach the edge of the light and the first few tents, and she says, I think it would be a good idea if you maybe dismounted for now.
Good idea.
And if you wait, I'll go and find someone to come and speak to you. And she, without further ado, heads into the camp and walks over. She vanishes sort of behind you guys, behind a tent from you guys, completely sort of disappears from your line of sight and mingles into the crowd. Zoom, give me a perception check as this happens. Okay, 14, respectable. You managed to pick her out. You lose her for a few moments in the crowd, but you find her in the center, she steps out into the ring, which is starting to disperse, and there are 3 individuals that she speaks to. All of them appear to be tieflings. All of them have like quite vivid red skin, and they are all moving this body or sort of like pulling it off the chair. At this point, basically just breaking the chair legs off because like superheated flesh, and there's no taking him off that chair anymore. And trying to move his body. And it's unpleasant, but you see that he's sort of one of the guys comes forward and
These wild magic soldiers just going through.
Wait, that's the wrong one. That's not the right one. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been amazing.
Well,
I cannot wait.
Wrong.
Alright.
The wrong one. Keep
My-
going.
Okay.
No, you had the 2 there. Sorry, the 3 round. I'm still listening.
Okay. And she comes back with just one of them. You note that of these 3, they all have markings that sort of mark them quite different. One of them, he has red skin, but he appears to have black tattoo ink. You can't make out what the designs are, but he's like full tribal sleeves that cover his hands all the way up his sleeves, and seem to like come over his face in places. He wears his hood up, so you can't tell sort of the extent of it, but he's very heavily tattooed. There's another one who has a vicious line of like a ridge of spines that run down his back, and the last one has just fucking huge clawed hands. They're pretty iconic and like easy to pick out of the crowd. You can sort of track them as they move around. But one of them comes forward, the one with the spines around his back, and you guys will see him come over to you guys, and he sort of approaches with a small entourage of 5, not particularly heavily armed and armored guys, but they come with weapons drawn to greet you.
This is probably a terrible idea, but I really want to get as close as I can without being detected to them. So, yeah, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea.
Actually, are you? Yeah. So.
Well, I was trying to stay close enough for the fly spell, which I think is 60 feet away. I can cast it. So that's around the distance I was looking to get.
Okay.
We're going to have such a Spartacus moment here. I am Zune of House Vandry. No, I am Zune of House Vandry.
So you begin to approach.
Oh, the range is touch, so I have to touch them, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. You guys would have been screwed.
I'm like, don't worry, I got you.
Well,
No way.
in no way whatsoever. So in my mind, I had kind of 60 feet as a designated amount. So, but whatever you choose to do with that is fine with me.
Sean is giving you advantage here.
Oh, okay.
To Laurelania.
Oh God, thank you.
Okay, so you get. It's not enough to save you from your 6, but it might help you in the coming moments. As these guys approach, you see them all seem to be like armed with conventional weaponry, nothing particularly fancy, and these pouches full of vials, and they clink ever so slightly. They look pretty battered and beaten, like they've come back from a fight. Some of them sort of bloodied, but the one in front of you is almost as tall as Gavin, not quite as strong looking, and certainly not as sort of thick and well built as Gregor. But he's an imposing fella, and the woman has returned and is looking awkwardly at the floor, like she's just had a really bad telling off. Though you haven't heard any shouting or raised voices or panic or commotion from the camp. And he steps forward, looks at you guys, and says, "I did not hear where you are from. You are part of what contingent?"
I looked at Gavin. Go on, tell him. Not gonna want to hear it. I have to go and hug the nearest tree because some of my wild magic sucks.
Gavin kind of makes a point of not thing, and he just goes, "We are of the Red Banner clan.
he sort
From
of
the north.
jerks his head back for a second and
Told you I wasn't going to hear that.
looks to one of the guys by his side, looks back to you, and he just moves forward and grabs you and pulls you into an embrace.
I told a lie, he did want to hear that. You can hug me too if you want.
The red banner of the demons from the seventh. I got
Dimension.
nothing. I'll stick with red banner.
From the seventh dimension.
We greet you. It has been a long. It's been a long march.
he grabs you like into an embrace, and you have to like the spines that run down his back look like they will, like, if you hug him particularly well, you will lose fingers on your only arm. So I
Right.
mean, like, this guy is
My one arm.
yeah, exactly.
Can I roll a history to see if there is a red banner, or if this is like
Roll
stuff
me-
back
roll
and
me a
forth
history.
bullshit? Like, are they bullshitting each other? Or
Roll me a history check.
Should we run through these wild magic surges while we have a moment as well?
Yeah. While we have a moment, yeah.
So Gavin believes that whatever he last ate is still alive. Also, Zune has a crit success from Sean. Thank you, my friend.
oh, thank you.
I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change that round ever so slightly. Gavin, you believe that Gregor's nipple is still alive?
It still lives. It lives
Still
on.
lives.
My heart of hearts.
Gavin absolutely believes that nipple's still alive. Because
yeah.
Gregor
Nipples never
ate
die.
his nipple.
Gregor
Right?
Yeah.
ate his nipple, yeah, and you are.
Well, and isn't it got like eggs and things?
You don't know.
Like,
It's
That's
nipple.
yeah. I'm sure they're
he
eggs.
believed that there were spider eggs inside of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Charlie bit my finger. Gregor ate my
Nipple
nipple.
eggs.
Amazing. I embrace the nearest tree and refuse to let go.
Well, that'll be a while.
Oh, okay.
Just run back and find a tree on the top side. Louise has a bunch of them. Kazna, any building that the caster enters ejects her forcefully. That's going to be useful. Next door
Wait,
opened.
who's that for?
These are for Kazna. Next door.
Hey, that's how you get out of that prison.
Yep, opened by the caster, leads to a room full of hourglasses. And next polymorph magic used nearby affects 1d4 other targets nearby.
I wonder if there's anyone who has polymorph.
Yeah,
And my potion is the potion of clairvoyance.
nice. And I think Zune's target can ingest and digest small quantities of lead. Could be
I think
useful.
that means I can ingest small quantities of
Yeah,
lead.
you can.
You
You
can
can
finally
ingest
eat something that's not rotting flesh.
Yeah.
Like,
that. You can eat
this is
metals
true.
now.
this is good.
You're like that dude who
Right.
eats cars.
She eats paint.
Oh my god, you could become Gregor.
Yeah.
Because Gregor can do that. You should
Yeah, I can
literally
do that,
become
yeah.
Gregor. Swap identities now.
So when the
I
Undying
can do
Heroes
that.
are done their very long march, we're now going to open up a circus of just like freak shows. It's going to be the paladin with the one arm, the two people who can eat anything, and then the woman who can cleave anything in half. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget the talking nipple that may or may not exist.
Never forget that.
Never forget. Why would
Hashtag
you
never
ever-
forget.
Never forget. Oh god. Okay.
I'm just gonna go
so-
find a tree. Are there any trees nearby? For that me being from the Red Banner. We
one
secret
of them-
red tree.
one of them nods slowly and points, and you actually see it's not a tree, but it is a root. And you
Come here,
you can
you.
give me a nature check as you go over.
Yeah.
Was that a? I'm guessing the DC 10 was not enough to get
Ah.
any information.
This has got to be bullshit. Surely, I mean,
Okay.
fucking
This is a 12 on nature.
on a 12. This is probably a root or a vine of a tree topside, and that is all you know. And it is like, it's just like, it's so comforting to have. Like, for once, you're a dwarf who wants to be above ground, because
It
what
keeps
is this
me.
bullshit?
I gotta go back to my roots sometimes, and I just
Hey.
hold it tight.
Eh.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation as quietly as I can.
Okay.
I can create a warming sensation, and in Gavin's good hand, I'm gonna create like a hot sensation, and hopefully that's gonna be like, this is a lie. This is bad.
roll me a sleight of hand to do
Warm
this.
is bad, cold is good. You're getting hotter. You're getting hotter.
That's through it all. Can I retcon that to cold? Actually,
when I say it out loud.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, it's okay.
On a 10, okay. So
a warm, comforting feel overcomes you.
You sort of move, and as you do this, you mutter quietly as you sort of make this sensation. Gavin, you do indeed feel a cold sensation in your hand, out of nowhere, which is odd. But behind you, you hear a sound, Zoom. You hear the sound of rockfall. It's not a massive rockfall. You hear stone skittering across stone, several, as if something has just been displaced. Slightly higher on the wall behind you, closer to the tunnel that you entered through.
I assess what it is as quickly as possible, and the second I get a hint of danger, I'm going to just start free falling since I'm on the ceiling, I guess. Were we on the ceiling or were we on the floor?
You guys are basically, you were on the side of like a bowl that leads down, so...
Okay, I should have said that I wanted to be on this, but that's fine. Okay, so then we'll be prepared to kick this lizard and to get the fuck out of here if need be.
Okay, the lizard suddenly goes very still, and give me an animal handling check real quick.
I'm so good with animals.
Yep.
I am so good with animals. Dice jail. All of the dice are in jail today.
Okay. So, ungracefully, you can give me a dexterity saving throw as you are going to be unseated.
Okay. I'm still an elf.
You managed to sort of roll to your feet. It's not the most graceful, but most importantly, you are on your feet. As it is written, by Wild Magic Surges, the ground probably about sort of 15 feet from you detonates. There is an explosion, and something emerges directly underneath your lizard, which was trying to bolt, and your lizard fucking vanishes. And everyone down in the camp most certainly hears this.
What is it exactly?
When you say vanish, do you mean run, or do you mean...
No, it vanishes directly down into the floor. It is no longer there.
The ground is
With
lava.
a gulping sound.
There is a horrible detonation, and your lizard, your lizard that you were just on, fucking is gone. It's just been taken into the ground under what appears to be like a
dark vision, like what it was.
It's just gone straight down, and you were like 15 feet from you, and just down into the ground. There is now a hole. Yep.
Okay, down a hole.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to look over
Never
the hole,
mind.
mind you, but fuck.
What the fuck was that? I say, buy my red banner.
Everyone around the camp.
Can I make a nature check with my Underdark knowledge to at least narrow down the list of what the fuck this might be?
Give me a nature check then. Let's see you. Not in dice jail. I mean, whatever it is, it made a really big hole in the floor, and it can burrow. And I mean, there's a certain thing this might be. There's a couple of things this might be.
It's not a purple worm, right? That would be just ridiculous.
My donga just erupts.
Massive.
I mean,
okay. Well, I am.
What brings a party together more than Will's donger?
Right?
Yeah, indeed.
That's what I said on Sunday.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh dear God, I'm having flashbacks. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, whatever this is, it was donated for. I swear, this is not me. Don't put this on me.
I'm gonna Misty step the fuck away.
Okay, where are you Misty stepping towards? You can go
into
back.
the hole.
Basically, you can go towards the hole. You can go directly away from it, which is into basically nothing.
Into the darkness and the nothing.
you can
I
head
kind
up
of just
to the
like
tunnel.
side misty step away from the hole, and then maybe try and re-stealth myself again? 'Cause
Okay.
I still don't want to get caught by the people out there, because those are non-drow people and they're mean. It
Okay.
wants to eat me, so let's just see if I can get my two problems to solve themselves. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, let's how this
So-
works.
Yep.
So give me one last stealth check as you
I'm gonna
guys.
use my nat 20 or crit success or whatever that was, because
Okay, you nat 20, you crit success, you managed to stealth particularly well. I'm just gonna check something. So it's that. What did you roll for your nature check?
I rolled a 19 actually, and I was worried about tremor sense, which is why I'm trying to not like land too hard and like maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm aware that it's not just sight, trying to hide from all things, stealth in all things.
You most certainly have complete cover from the camp. There is no way they could spot you right now, and considering you basically just reappeared there's no way they would have seen you. Even you're struggling to see out here in the dark, sort of between the sharp rocks. But yeah,
Misty step away again if I need to.
fantastic.
Okay.
Gregor and Gavin, there is a detonation. There is some chaos around you. First things first, Gavin, you are pulled back behind this guy who has yet to introduce himself. He hasn't had a fucking chance. He literally pulls you back behind him, and you nearly lose a fucking eye as all of the spines on his back suddenly go up like a fucking pork. He frills up and draws a second blade. These blades look like push daggers, but fucking big push daggers. And he lets out a cry in Abyssal, which I believe...
Infernal or Abyssal?
Infernal, sorry,
Infernal.
which I believe...
Yeah,
so,
Infernal is tieflings.
Yeah, and he lets out the cry. Does anyone here speak Infernal?
I have a feeling Gregor might.
Does it say the only person that's not in the fucking party who can speak literally every language? All of
Yeah.
them.
Dwarven,
Shouldn't have let me in a
common.
prison, eh? How tell that?
Yeah.
Gavin's not a one-trick pony.
So yeah, you guys...
I scream something to the effect of, "For the red banner!" How far away is the explosion? Or the detonation? Eruption.
It's probably about 100 feet back up the cavern wall, and most definitely between you and the tunnel you came in from, not the tunnel they came in from. And it's probably like 50 feet above you elevation-wise, and you have like, all you see is the floor fucking give way. You have no idea what was up there before, but you know Zune is up there somewhere.
Wouldn't worry about it.
Probably fine.
Let's just have a me. I turn, draw my axe, and see what the others are doing if they're rushing towards this boldly, and Gregor's happy to.
Yeah, they are not moving forward. They form a perimeter
Hold your ground!
and pull back into the camp as quickly as they can. And you see them...
Beard wall!
You see them sort of run backwards, and they begin to take down their tents pretty fucking rapidly, and not in any way helpfully. Like, they are just pulling out the poles that hold the tents up, and...
I look busy and attack a tent.
Yeah. Okay. You take the tent down, and someone grabs like thanks you, grabs these poles up, and you watch as takes you a second to realize what they're doing. They begin to stake these poles into the ground and step up onto them, trying to use them like stilts.
I do the same.
You are helped out. Someone comes over and hands you like
fucking
two
nick someone's tent.
sort of, you just like fucking like kick it. He's in bed. He's like he was having some alone time, and you just rush in, and they literally begin to sort of stake themselves. And this guy comes over to you, Gavin, and he says, "We have to get off the ground now."
Lead the way.
he hands you these 2 poles that have what appear to be almost like like rail spikes nailed into them about halfway down, and he comes over and just drives one into like a soft spot and wedges another one between 2 rocky crags, and at a really awkward angle climbs up onto them, and he just holds his position, and it falls eerily quiet in the camp as they try and remain off the ground.
Also, Isriva donates £10 to give 1 Wild Magic Surge for Kazna and 1 for Scab. Thank you.
Oh,
ooh, cool.
I never get to roll. Yay. I love that number. 5215 is my favorite number.
Can we do this one up?
Yeah, if you can, that'd be amazing.
Oh my god! Target bursts into flames the next time he's totally submerged. So hopefully they're not keeping you underwater somewhere, or like waterboarding you, or anything like that, because you're burning. Damn it, Isriva!
He's a tiefling, right?
He's a vampire tiefling.
He's a vampire tiefling. Holy water would tend to do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh my god, my sweet little boy.
Sweet summer child.
7-6.
Your weapon is a prized relic stolen from the royal armory. That dope little wire
you and your
thing
weapons
you
at Kazna.
I have so many cool weapons.
Oh yeah, your strangling thing.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
thing.
Oh my god, yeah. So
Cousin, I got you.
Zune has a story to tell you all about where she picked up your present at the Black Friday sale. You know, it's fine.
I steal
Drow
only the
Friday.
thing for my sister.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really, really do.
You're welcome. Yes. Right.
So
I'm jumping up these stilts.
You jump up on stilts, and I'm going to need everyone to roll me some initiative, please.
Of course you do.
This is going to be interesting. I love donations.
It's a 15 for Gavin.
Do I need to roll?
22.
No, I'm afraid not. I was about to. Don't worry. I'm about to.
I don't know about you,
Dice jail.
but I'm feeling 22.
Dice jail.
Of course it is.
Still got higher. Oh damn! Oh, he's got a +1 on me in this one.
So we've got Gavin.
Hey, I just looking at this turn order here. I see Purple Worm on the turn order here. Just saying.
I've got loads of interference suddenly.
Yeah, me too.
Oh really?
Yeah,
it's gone now.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's gone now. But yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
How about
nice
that?
drag and drop monster.
Let's fucking
No,
do this.
I don't know who did this. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, who? I need to know who was that donation from, because.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, here we go. Gregor, you're up first. What are you doing other than standing on some stilts, looking heroic as fuck?
Do I see this worm?
No. No.
So there's no enemy in sight, really.
No.
Then I hold my action. When I see something, I'll hit it.
Okay.
We're basically pogo sticking right now.
Yes,
if I
you
understand
are.
this correctly.
You are indeed trying to get off the ground. And Zune, again, you see nothing. You can't really feel it. Sort of, there's no ripple through the ground or anything like that. There is just eerily silence. Even the camp's quiet and the fuck down. What do you do?
Since so much of the commotion was going on over there, Zune is going to hope that the purple worm would be going that way. That's where food is. Nom nom nom. I'm going to, as quietly and as slowly as I can, kind of put my ear down to the ground and see. Like, I know we can't hear anything above here, but I'm hoping some sort of echoes, something, anything like that.
Give me a perception check. On a 12. You listen. You certainly hear something. It sounds like someone is walking across gravel, but deep underground. You hear the slight crunches and sort of shifting but you can't pinpoint a direction. It's thrown off by all the jagged rocks around you. It's almost
But
like...
it seems like there's only one, right?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Okay.
What did you roll? Yeah, you only rolled a 12. Sure, there's only one.
Okay. I also am going to hold my action until I can see the creature. Preparing a spell of some kind. Probably Blight.
Okay. Taking it to Gavin. Gavin, buddy, you are currently staked just slightly above the ground next to your friend with the spines, who is sort of looking around. He's trying to keep his balance. He is quite bulky and is struggling ever so slightly, but he's looking pretty puffed up right now.
I would like to rage.
Okay.
And
he's gonna go into the hole and blow that up too.
And as I do, you see, my Warhammer again. This is what's going to get interesting. Transforms back into the Hex Skull Mace as the rage overtakes me, and in my hand, I'm now wielding a mace that has, the leader of the Fiend Touch Army's skull on the top of it. I'm sure this is going to be great.
Too far for me to see, right?
And once again, Louise has missed this, which I love. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is great.
So, yeah, you in your hand it appears, and next to you there is a guy just like he's basically got like a vial in one hand and a knife in the other hand, and he's shaking slightly.
Hey, Sean.
And he just slowly turns to look at you, somewhat taken aback, but doesn't say anything else.
Well, can the hammer looks? The hammer basically skull on the end of its thing turns towards him, and in Hex's voice say, "This warrior has my blessing."
The guy
infernal.
This guy almost falls off his fucking pogo sticks. Like he just nods slowly, and around him people very slowly nod. It's eerily quiet. But the guy, the big guy next to you just quills frill up, and he looks really pumped for a fight. And he mutters something again in Infernal, and there seems to be some agreement around, but again, all said in Infernal. So it's quiet and calm. Do you do anything else in your turn?
I'm holding my action. As soon as I see something, I'm going at it.
Okay. So, should we play? I'm going to let you guys pick amongst yourself, high or low.
Always go high.
Always go high.
Okay, in which case, Laura Lani, are you happy to take low?
Yeah. Woo! Yeah!
Get high. Get high. So, it's going to make, there is a sudden, you feel it ever so suddenly, like the slight shift in elevation for all of you in the camp, as the ground around you shifts almost imperceptibly. Some people like fall and manage to catch themselves, but there is a guy standing right next to you. One of the guys who, the guy who sort of Hex spoke to, his foot just misses the edge of the spike that's holding him up, and he puts his foot down on the ground, and as he does, the ground around it cracks. And let's go with an opening. So it is boosh. Nat 20.
Ugh.
This guy is gone. So is this almost the center of the camp fucking vanishes.
He goes into the Sarlacc pit with a Wilhelm scream.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's horrible, and there's like you don't hear him scream over the sound of the rock around him just exploding outwards, and he's vanishes entirely. People all around are sort of thrown aside. Can you guys both give me dex saving throws if you want to remain sort of on your feet? Which I'm going to presume you do.
Is this Gavin and Zune?
This is Gavin and Gregor.
Okay.
Buddy.
Dexterity saving throw. Oh, not one.
Ooh. So, Gavin, you go down. Gregor, you go down underneath another guy who
Not
appears
for the first time. Hey.
You go down under someone who has been knocked unconscious, possibly killed by a piece of rock that is just smashed into his face, and he hits into you and basically buries you. You're sort of lying prone underneath him.
It's season 1, episode 1 all over again.
It is indeed. And yeah.
So what appears to be the purpose of the pogo sticks? If the ground is getting fucked, how big are the tent poles that they're up upon?
Not particularly big, but it appears that they're going under the impression that if they're not touching the floor, it can't. The ground is lava. That appears to be.
You touch the ground, it brings the worm.
But are you not touching the ground when you're moving on the pogo stick? Or maybe it's confused by okay.
Don't question D&D physics.
It seems like such a bad idea. Like, I think Gregor is turning on himself, but then maybe again Gregor might have some experience with this sort of thing, having lived underground.
I'm going to say, Gregor, roll me a history check. I'm going to give you
17.
17. This will not work. This will not save them in any way.
So this is just a terrible idea.
Literally, they have no fucking idea what they're up against.
I love that the first thing they went to is just fuck my 10 and then get on pogo stick.
They were like, basically their idea is to get off the ground because they understand that it moves around and ambushes things from underground. So if they're not touching the ground, they're fine. It is not fucking working. I know it's never going to work for these guys.
I'll shout something of that effect to Gavin. The fucking tents are useless, mate! As I get buried underneath these guys.
So yeah, that's the last thing you hear from Gregor before he just...
So I fall off my stick.
Yeah.
This image of like 50 guys like pogo sticking while a purple worm is eating them all one by one.
I was curious to see if anyone would question the logic, but...
Well, they went to it so quickly that I was convinced that this was something that they had done in the past. Like, all of them were like, quick, everyone!
Well, apparently they've done it in the past, and didn't work then either. Dead men tell those tales.
I moved off to the side and let you guys be the commotion. See, it's already working.
Speaking of which, though, Zune, you have a held action. You are still on your feet.
Yeah, and I am definitely going to be doing some blight at that thing. So
cool, okay.
Constitution save, and I'm going to, as quietly as I can, because I don't want to be noticed by anybody.
It'll take some damage. It won't take full damage, but it'll take some damage. And this thing, you literally managed to shoot. You're pretty fucking sure you hit it, but you see no damage done to it because you don't see it. It fucking comes up and just goes straight down again.
Could I get an opportunity attack or my attack when it passed by and swallowed the guy next to me?
I tell you what. Give me an athletics check to get yourself on the feet and bring a swing at the same time.
Oh, he's gonna do one of the cool ninja flip things.
Yep.
Yeah.
I interrupted you though, Laura. Zoom. Did you have anything else you were doing after the blight?
No, just the blight. It's just I know that this is gonna be a long battle, and like she is aware of what this is. She knows what it is. It's all of Zune's worst nightmares coming true in the Underdark.
I'll give you your full range of attacks as
20.
So we just see basically Gavin sort of, it looks like he's gonna land flat on his back, but he just rolls up into a crouching, like one knee down, and his hand clutching the hammer. And there is the skull mace is just searing the ground around it, lighting it up, and the light begins to burn slightly brighter, and for a split second the worm is just there, up in the air, and the only light that picks it out is the fire coming from the mace. Give me some attacks.
So as the person donated it for my first attack, I'm using the nat 20.
Yes!
Get him!
So this would be a nat 20, so that would be, oh, look at that, max damage, 16, 20, 22, 23, plus 14, 19, so 23 plus 19 is, carry the 1, is 42 damage on the first strike.
It is, okay, yep. Give me your second attack.
And then the second one with the mace. 19, does it hit?
It, let me just check. It hits.
Nice.
Boom.
For another 10 bludgeoning and 9 fire.
Damn. How much damage is that total?
Ooh.
Total damage, that's another 19.
27 of 19.
So that is for 61 total damage.
Okay, so that's not a bad considering it's appeared once. Appeared once, made 1 attack, and you guys have done 90 damage around that. Yeah, let me just add this
Hey,
up.
and that's a viewer decision as well.
Oh fuck yes!
Nice.
Okay. So guys, there is one person in this camp who, like Gavin and Gregor, knows ahead of schedule, and Zune, like the party, knows ahead of schedule that this probably will not work. While everyone else was doing shit, this individual has prepared a very different response to a purple worm attack. What is that response?
All right, what's the question? Underneath this line here, what is the response of...
What does one lunatic in the camp do to counter the purple worm?
Purple worm.
What is the one guy doing?
What is...
That isn't that guy. It's
What
always
is-
that
yeah.
guy.
What is that
is that
one
guy
guy
doing?
doing right now?
Everybody knows that guy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to know that guy though. Who
Dance
brought
off.
that guy?
Like, what? He's not even in the army. What are you doing here? I've got a friend in the army. Just want to show up.
This guy's what we like to call operator as fuck. He's a badass, and you're gonna learn it very soon.
He's mansplaining.
Oh dear God!
They're full of fire bombs there too, aren't they? That alchemist fire. The camp is full of alchemist fire.
These guys have all got vials on them, it would seem. So,
But they decided to get on fucking pogo sticks instead. This was that one guy's idea, I feel like.
It was him. Everyone else was
He
like,
just
we have
started doing
better.
it, and everyone's like, he's doing that with, like, he looks like he knows what he's doing. He's doing it with such conviction that everyone else is like, he must know something, right?
I can't breathe.
Like the guy who started monotheism.
That's how we get him.
Oh.
I love this.
That's how we get them. They they start to like people go down and all around you. It is chaos, but Gavin comes up and slogs this thing twice, and there is a sound that sort of ripples through the ground underneath you that comes from deep in the earth. That sounds like a horrible screeching noise, and the earth around you cracks in places as this worm thrashes around and vanishes down, taking out sort of like a big chunk of the camp with it. As it does not go down cleanly back into it, it just slams itself into the ground and tries to burrow its way away from whatever the fuck just hit it like a freight train, and vanishes once again. It is, however, a big, long bastard of a creature, which means coming round to, where are we?
It's like a game of Worm. We see like the
Yeah, I think
the tails
top
go
around, right?
Yeah.
Gregor, this thing is not going to, after that clobber knocker of a round from Gavin, this thing is not going to get away cleanly. You are currently prone. You have a unconscious
Dead man
/
on my
dead
body.
body on you.
Oh,
What do
for
you
the
do?
first time. Yes, and the options for voting are on the screen. You've got mansplaining, cooking, dance off, and serenading. So you can click on screen on desktop to vote. Gregor is going to push off the dead guy. And you say I've got the tail coming by this creature. I'm going to jump on the back of the tail.
Okay, give me a dex saving throw, please.
Nice. I intend to anchor myself.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Fuck me. 6.
Fantastic. Right. This thing's pretty big. It's pretty hard to miss. However, he is going to swing and luckily miss you on a 22, I believe.
Yeah, my AC is 24.
Yeah, as the stinger of this thing, just like whips past you, and you just have to sort of fucking let go of it. Like at the last second, it comes like a hair's breadth from like almost slitting your throat. Whatever this thing is, it's
I'm taking a dead guy with me, by the way.
yeah, like, you know what? It's fucking him who
he gets the stinger.
Like,
you
lift it up and just like you manage to use him. So this point where he opens his eyes and his eyes roll back and he lets out the most pathetic of whimpers.
Sorry, mate.
As this stinger just goes straight through his spinal cord
now
and
he's dead.
He goes dead on the floor. Taking it round to Zune. Zune, there is fucking chaos, and this thing is like tearing its way through the camp.
That's fine. I don't really care about the other people. As long as most of them live, we can figure out what's going on. Oh, there's dead bodies now. I can just talk to them later, can't I? Oh, no, I can only give them commands. Let's not speak with dead, right? Can I still see any part of the worm whatsoever? Is it completely retracted?
It is basically like half up, arched over, and is like burrowing its way down. You see its stinger has like come out slightly. You've got about sort of like 3 seconds to if you want an attack on this thing.
Okay. We're going with Blight again.
Okay, Blight's good. Blight's is that the exact same damage you rolled last time?
I know, right?
Damn. Consistent. It is still going to take half damage, but that still tickles. That's 22 damage. It's a nice little.
As long as I'm attacking it and it's not attacking me, I consider that a win.
nice little prick in the side. And taking it round to Gavin again. Gavin, this thing is like trying to pull away at quite a speed. There are bodies fucking everywhere. How many? I'm not sure. Yeah. How many you're not entirely sure, but some of them are probably dead. What do you do?
I am going to I'm hitting it with the mace.
Okay. Give me some rolls.
28.
28 fucking hits by
Go
10.
Gavin! Go Gavin!
Damn. That was so close to a second crit. I was going to be so proud.
Yeah. And that will be for 21 points of damage.
21? Okay, this thing's starting to fucking hurt.
And I'm going to drop a smite on that.
Okay.
Furious smite.
Right.
For another 13 radiant on top of that.
Okay, max damage again. You feel its chitinous side break under the weight of this swing. It's certainly too big of a creature to be felled by a single swipe like that. But I mean, you smash into it, and thick ichor just gouges out in every direction, almost enveloping your poor mace. But it comes away burning and sizzling.
And then I swing again.
Get him!
Swing again.
With a nat 20.
Oh
yes!
Shit! If there's one thing Gavin is, it's fucking consistent. Give me that damage.
This is why all my dice were in virtual dice jail earlier. Like, good trade-off.
So I got to put the flexes in chat.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes!
So that is for a 23 plus 18. 3 plus 18 is 41. Is that correct? 40 for another 41 points of damage on top of that.
Damn. Okay, this thing is going to manage to like pull away from you guys. It is not dead. It is not healthy, but it is not dead. As it manages to burrow down, and you see it sort of like its tail whip up and thrash underneath the ground, and it literally, Gavin, you're looking at this. I love this. You're looking at the tail vanish, and just as it does, you see Seraphine standing on the other side, just fucking like holding, like pulling someone to his feet who looks pretty badly injured, and there is a guy standing next to him, next to her, just going, it's because why would that make any sense to stand on pogo stick? Let me explain how tremor sense works to you, okay? It's basic physics, okay? What it does is it senses like the vibrations in the ground, and he gets about that far, and she just full on punches him in the jaw. Like, you hear it, despite all the chaos, because I want it to happen, you hear his jaw potentially break under the impact. This woman is so sick of this mansplaining. Thank you, chat, for that. I gave you a chance to heroically save the party, but no, let's...
Just a dude.
That guy.
Throw him on the stinger. Throw him on the stinger.
Everything.
Yeah, when Gregor comes around on the like the roller coaster ride that Gregor is on right now, he's gonna grab the guy as he goes past, hanging onto the back of the snake.
So yeah, the fucking chaos all around. But where are we? So this thing is going to come round on its turn. And I'm afraid there is one individual who has utterly been fucking him up. So
yeah.
You know what's coming, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck. Best wishes.
There's a
24 hits.
Oh.
Okay. Are you a large or smaller creature? I believe you fit into that category, Just.
I do. Just.
Can you give me a dexterity saving throw, buddy?
I can give you a dexterity saving throw.
Crit success for Gavin from Sniper Sean. Do you want to use it?
He gets it the last second too.
Sniper Sean, right before I was about to click.
Didn't Sniper Sean summon this?
Sniper Sean gave me the crit first hit as well.
Baby.
Sniper! I'm gonna use that nat 20 by my buddy Sniper.
Yeah.
Knock it swallowed.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you are still going to take the damage, but you are not going to get swallowed. So 17 piercing damage.
I'm raging.
Indeed. And where are we? Yep, that's fine. And as it comes round, it is going to try and make another attack at dear old Gregor Tuscan.
Well, fucking try me.
He's trying to go for his... Right. Now, the shitty thing about this is that it has total cover from you, and you can't see it. So technically, it has advantage. So I'm going to give you a straight dex save. Simple DC, and we'll see if it gets advantage on you, because this fucking comes out of the ground, buddy.
12.
You were gonna take this hit. I'm afraid. I need a con save for you.
Better a con. 17.
17.
Oh, DC
not
19.
enough.
Yeah.
However, you do still take half damage for being a dwarf from the poison.
Yeah,
So it's
poison
19 piercing damage and half of 47 poison damage. As this pig is a nasty ambush predator.
Half of 47, 24, 23? 23 round down?
20, yeah, round it down, yeah. Always
23 at 19. Alright, got it. 42.
So, on this turn, they're actually fucking ready for it, so we're going to have some fucking attacks from the guys around you who make some fucking...
Yeah, somebody crit! Yeah, way to go, dude!
There you go, dudes. It's that guy! It's that one
that
guy!
That guy,
He just crits
like,
on his
for fuck's
mansplaining.
sake, yeah, he just like, for fuck's sake. Yeah, these guys are going to, they make some throws, and it's going to take some fire damage. So it's, how many, oh god, that guy.
Dude. If it's swallowed Gregor, all Gregor's got to do is vomit lava, and then it's game
this is literally my plan, is to get inside it and vomit. This is why I'm on it right now.
That's always Gregor's plan, is to get inside and vomit everywhere.
Yep, that's
the move, man.
That's
it is the
what
move.
the chicks love.
Hot.
Okay.
Even Gavin can't compete with Gregor vomit.
These girls love those moves.
Damn. So that's, what was that? 48. Damn, fuck me. This thing is on fire, like really on fire at the moment, as it manages to sort of try and burrow its way down again, and making it.
Did you really just type that, Will?
I have no strength.
I'm telling on you right now.
So,
I was gonna say she might have gotten him back after this weekend, though.
Yeah, come on, man. I was my fair share.
And
I almost took it way too far. Just gonna tone it down.
it comes round, and you have right. Who's up? We've got Gregor. Gregor, you're up next. This thing is just stabbed into you. I'll let you make a grapple check if you want. If your intention is to stay on this thing, I'll let you make a grapple check. You are currently impaled on it.
I want to stay on it, and I want to get near some kind of entrance. Strength is a 12.
You're on its tail. There's only one entrance remaining, dude.
Do it.
Okay.
Ew.
Can you give right, you are gonna take you take 25 bludgeoning damage as you are thrown almost the length of this cavern. As it nat 20s being an advantage, being a gargantuan monster, and just flips.
Oh, but can I be moved? Is it
you?
I can be thrown, but I've got a case to make here with my armor, right?
Okay, it'll allow you to sort of stay impaled on it.
Yeah.
It just slams its tail into the ground, and you are basically pinned to the floor by its tail as it moves on past. Like, you know when you got something like stuck to your hand, you're just like flicking it around, and you just like, yeah.
Okay. I wanna make a big vibration when I land, you know, because I'm big dwarf, and like, boom, boom, boom. So hopefully, like the mouth and me.
Okay, right.
We are one, right? Thanks so much to Sniper Storm for the sub as well. Appreciate it, man.
Sniper, my man.
Clutch.
So it is Zune. Zune, you are up.
I'm assuming I can no longer see it.
You can still see it as it has not managed to go down under yet, as it is busy trying to fuck this camp up and taking a shed load of damage.
The Zune in me says do nothing and wait for the rest of the party to fix it.
I'm gonna shout, "Bring it to me! To me!"
If I can get close enough to see it, even if I have to run out of stealth to cast Blight at it one more time, I will.
Okay, give me a you run forward. Give me a blight. Oh, low damage.
Oh, high save.
Yikes.
Every single time. I was hoping to run out of the shadows and be the hero. Fuck.
How badly were you hoping?
I was hoping very badly that was going to be the "Don't hate me, I'm a drow, I killed it for you." Ta-da!
Would you like a power slide here? Or?
Oh, do I kill it? Please! Yes! I'm not useless. I'm not the most useless person in the party today.
It has taken a lot of damage, and some damage from swallowing someone or several people that have fucking alchemist fire in their bags, and was not prepared for running into this.
So as I'm running out and I do my final spell power and I throw it for the glory of House Vandry, I say as loudly and as performance really as I can.
I'll tell you what, give me a performance check as you make this fucking heroic spectacle. On a 19, fucking people like as you come running really
slow motion.
Yeah, slow
motion.
Is it
Wonder Woman entrance?
Yeah.
Explosions in the back.
I can throw some prestidigitation as I run.
There's explosions of purple darkness behind you as you come rushing forward and jump up in the air, throwing your hands forward, people throwing themselves out of the way, and you hit this thing. You miss every piece of armor and manage to find that sweet spot that poor Gavin has ruined his mace to make. Has just smashed a huge chunk out of this chitin, and the inside of it suddenly bulges ever so slightly, ripples down its length, and you see the chitin crack, but you see it crack from like within as the whole thing flexes for a second and stops mid sort of burrow, and now like the midsection and part of the tail is now exposed. This thing is very dead and takes up almost the entire camp. And we are out.
I just think I hear just a very distant.
Yeah.
So, seeing as my buddy, who I know that I have an in with from the thing inside, hopefully he's not dead from damage. Gavin's going in to go rescue the guy with the spiny dude.
Oh no, Spiny Dude is not in there. It's the poor.
Oh, I thought he got swallowed.
No, it was literally some poor guy who just happened to be.
Oh, okay. I thought Spiny Dude got swallowed.
No, he's okay. He is currently lying sort of underneath bits of rubble. You've seen him go down like twice here of just being knocked aside by being so close to where it's come out of the ground.
Okay.
He does not appear to have any sort of ranged weaponry, just sort of blades. And he's pulling himself up and comes over and just like sinks his blade into like part of the chitin, sort of like trying to pry bits off just in frustration, basically just punching it but with blades.
Gregor gets off the tail. How is this fucking close? It's gonna get inside it and vomit in it.
That would have been an excellent plan, Zune.
That's right. I am very... I vomit all the time. How you doing, Gregor? Funny to see you here.
I do not have many people address me by my middle name. I'm Zilvara Vondry, matron mother of House Vondry.
And yet it's so strange that you refuse to go by any name except for Gregor. Despite it being your middle name, very odd that. But hey, good to see you again, Gregs. Gavin, you remember Gregor?
Gregory, very good to see you again.
Mr. Fjordhammer, of all the places in all the world, we'd end up here.
How strange that the three of us kooky characters would find ourselves here together. Oh.
Can I stay in prison? Can I just... I don't want to come back to it. I just want to
As
stay.
you as you guys are having this little bit of dialogue, Spiny manages to stop punching this thing for a split second, and as people are getting to their feet, he turns and spies the newcomer and begins to walk towards you very, very quickly, looking very pissed off, with the spines along his back sort of even more pronounced. And as he does, sort of very dramatically dragging the blades across the floor, about 3 people stand, like pulling themselves up from the floor around you, form a barrier between you and him. And one of them even goes as far as to very carefully place a hand on a part of his body that will not impale them. And he just walks into like a wall of protest, which one of them mutters something in Infernal, and he looks Zune up and down, slowly glances back to the smoking hole in the side of the purple worm, looks back to you, spits on the floor some blood. And there, we're going to cut away, and we're going to go to jail.
Yay!
So,
do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
So,
Oh fuck! Hang on. Pull the earphones out. I was so excited about jail. Ruined everything.
that moment when you're so excited about going to jail, you pull your headphones. Yeah, we've all been there. So yeah, you find yourself you found yourself you've been in essentially a room that's unadorned, unimpressive, and you are with Scab. Scab has not been taken from you. You guys have, in the middle of the room, what was a water feature. The water feature doesn't work at the moment, not that you've seen it work, and it is filled with blood. The blood is relatively fresh. You have basically been given a trough to drink from. Other than that, there is a very, very solid runed barred door that is covering your only way in and out of this room. And you have a single guard who has been standing outside. You've been here for a little while now. He has steadfastly refused to speak to you. Doesn't matter if you threaten him. Doesn't matter if you try and placate him. Doesn't matter if you flash your ankles at him. He's not impressed. Like, this guy...
Damn it, that's always works.
Always works.
Try and see the ankles.
Yeah. Damn, that ankle. But he has completely refused to sort of communicate with you. But Scab has pretty much settled into being back in a jail cell with relative ease. He's
Where we first met.
Exactly. Things have changed slightly, but you find that you have your weapons with you, but you feel a dampening effect in this room. You also feel like give me an Arcana. You're magically attuned in a way.
I think Nurgabov for £10 a neophyllid. A neophyllid gets attracted in by the massive battle. Ooh, I have to Google that one.
A what? Sorry?
And I think you'd say neophyllid. A neophyllid.
No. Give me a second. I have to go get the book.
Is it a neo what?
I will pull the spelling for you here in Roll20.
Neopets? We're calling in Neopets.
We're calling in
to battle.
Neopets, yeah.
I want Shoirus to come join us in battle.
I know exactly what this is. I got you. Don't worry.
Oh, it's on the Pathfinder companion.
I do not, though. I didn't hear what it was.
It's cool. Don't worry. You don't need to know.
It's
a lot like a
okay,
purple
I'm just
worm.
gonna AFK right now then. Okay.
It's like a purple worm manta ray plant thing.
It's entirely cool. Just chill.
It's really friendly and it doesn't want to hurt.
Dwelling only in the deepest reaches of the underworld. That's
the happy places where no one gets hurt. Yeah, perfect. Nice place. Good times. Not a problem. It looks cute. Look at that. Oh, not a problem. That'll be fun. No fighting.
So you guys, you guys, have been sort of locked away. It's been relatively quiet. You haven't been visited. On a 6, you're pretty aware there's something is present in the room and it is hampering your ability to cast, but there's also something else to it that you can't really put your finger on. You find that it's been deathly quiet the entire time, as if you are very far underground. The corridor outside is lit. You can see straight out because the door is not like a proper door. It's made up of bars that are sort of meshed together with spikes on. But other than that, it's been kind of quiet. And Scab has quickly become withdrawn, quiet, and apart from the fact that he is actually being fed this time, not his usual gourmet sort of dining experience in prison. This one's a little bit more specialist, but it's okay. You haven't been hurt in any way either. So, how's Kazna doing? It's been some time since you woke up.
Having a good time. Really excited to be back in jail for the second time in a few months. Really excited to be here. Okay, so this guard, he is standing outside.
Yeah.
And there's so the bars are here. Is he here or is he to the side?
He's to the side. He's not standing. He stands with his back. And he's leaning against the bars. Do I know how long I've been here? You've been conscious about probably somewhere around 3 hours. You're better at keeping track, having no sun to guide you, having lived underground some of your life. Sort of like you have a better mental clock, inbuilt clock to sort of counter the crushing effects of never seeing the sun. So it's a little easier for you to be able to tell.
Okay. And it's not like the guards don't change, it's been the same one.
Yeah. The light in here, in this area, comes from torches, which have been changed once by someone who walked in, again, gave you no answer to any questions you might have thrown their way or any kerfuffle you might have kicked up. They came in, they changed the torches. Other than that, it's been quiet, very, very quiet. You've been given blood, and that is it.
Okay. First I would like to have my share of some nice fresh blood. Partake.
Indeed, you wake fully rested. The blood is good. It's a bit stale, and you're not really sure how you know, but you can tell that it is not the freshest of blood, but it's certainly human. However, it's been around for a little while, and you know it comes from multiple different sources, because when you drink from it, you get very disjointed and broken flashes of how they came to an end.
Okay.
None of them make any sense to you.
Okay. I still have the necklace, right? Okay.
Yeah, it has not been removed from you.
Hello? Speak to it.
There's a pause. After a few moments, you hear a voice. Finally.
Great. I'm feeling okay. So, how is it you came to be in my possession? What should I call you? Thing?
I have many names, but most are best not said. For I am all about never speaking.
Ah, right, yes, I get, okay.
And you feel it slightly tighten around your neck for a split second, and there is a slight chuckle, and then it relaxes.
Right, no, hilarious, yep, Great, okay.
I am the final whisper.
Right, well, final whisper. What say you to a little bit of fun, per se?
I'm listening.
I know you have some form of, well, something to you, based on the fact that, well, for one, you're speaking to me, and for two, you seem to be able to title on your own. What else can you do?
Scab is giving you a very odd look at this point. And leans in and says, "Who are you talking to?"
Oh, no one. Just, praying.
She cracked.
I'm
He
praying.
just turns and he doesn't appear to be aware this is a two-sided conversation.
Interesting. So, you can talk, you can move, seemingly only to me.
In your hands, I can bring quiet release to others. For example, that guard just standing, beating away.
Fresh fruit, yes. But there are certain obstacles between us and him.
There are. As long as we remain in this room, I fail to see how I can assist you in sating that bloodlust we share.
Any ideas how to remove ourselves from this room? He doesn't seem to want to talk to me. I don't know, maybe I give off a certain vibe. He just doesn't seem very comfortable around me.
Strong and silent. My preference. You're the one who has a reputation for removing ourselves from these situations.
You're not wrong. Alright. Third time's a charm. Final whisper. You're going to need a better name, because honestly that's too much to say in one mouthful. We'll work on it. We'll get you some.
It doesn't seem bothered with its name, and remains quiet.
I'd like to get up and pass by Gav and go to the bars. Can I move my hands out of the area?
Yeah, it would appear so. There's the hole's big enough, sort of talking about yay big, that you could certainly pass your arm through.
Okay. And do I have a line of sight onto our friend, the guard?
Indeed. You
I
can
do.
see him. He's about sort of 10 feet away from you, out of arm's reach.
That is just beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Well, in that instance, let's see. What would be best? Okay, yeah, I can do that. I'll lean out. I'll kind of like give a little wave. Hello.
As you move your hand through the gap in the bars, the gap shrinks, and the further you move your arm through, the more it shrinks. There are tiny spikes, almost like a serrated edge. If you push your arm sort of further past like the elbow, you're pretty sure that it will have you in like a vice-like grip and puncture your skin.
Beautiful. I'll pull my hand back. Well, that's a clever trick, isn't it? You must tell me how you do that. I suggest that's the best way we can have this conversation if you were to let me out, and I'd like to cast suggestion on him.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
I would love to do so. Presently.
That is a second viewer decision, actually.
That is a second viewer decision. Okay.
We're rocking it tonight, guys.
Natural one for my
The hell, we are no longer rocking it tonight, guys.
We just fucked up.
We are fucked it tonight, guys. Okay. You on a nat one. You are 100% convinced that you have cast this spell. You do spend the spell slot. And he seems to have some kind of resilience to it. I mean, it's strange, but he does turn to you and he says, I wouldn't put your hand through the bar. We have instructions not to spoil you.
Oh, keeping me for something, are you? I just can't wait for it.
Your sister is useful. So you are useful for now.
Wonderful. Well, at least you're talking. You have a wonderful voice. You should do so more often.
No reaction whatsoever.
Cat got good tongue. You're scared? Scared to talk to people? Is that it? Is that why they put you here all on your own? Because you're just not good with people, is that right? That's a shame, isn't it?
He looks at you, looks you up and down, and you're not very bright, are you?
No. Depends on who you ask. Of course, most of the people who would say no are 6 feet under, or inside my stomach, or my sister's stomach, who has a liking for that as well.
You're more than 6 feet under, and you're very much out of your depth.
No. I'm a good swimmer.
Well, perhaps practice holding your breath like a good swimmer, and cease speaking.
In fact, I think we should perhaps both do that. You're going to need to, and I'm going to cast poison spray at him. Fuck that guy. That's a 20.
Give me an Arcana check, please.
Well, it's a 24.
Yes, no. I love you so much. You're like, well, fuck you. You may be right on all fronts, but no poison's right on the face.
But like, fuck, will anyone live to say? Like, you live to tell anyone about it?
Who's stupid now with a face like that, huh?
No, you're stupid. Get fucked.
Give me an Arcana check, please.
It's a 26. It came up on. Oh, so it was a. Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good damage. Okay. Well, I'm really good at Arcana so far, but I'm going to use my natural 20 that I have.
Boom.
On a nat 20.
Because
Okay.
you're not petty.
You reach forward, and as you do, you realize that there is a dampening effect that is holding back your magic in this cell, which will be why suggestion failed so miserably. However, on a nat 20, you rage your way through it. You're just
You
like,
ain't damp no more, girl. You ain't damp no more.
Like, fuck your barrier, bitch.
So, give me 1 second. Everyone headphones off for a moment, because,
Everyone headphones off, including you, Louise, including Josh.
Yeah,
everyone watching the stream.
Everyone who's watching, headphones off. Let's just all sit in silence and think about how we just got so sassed by the Kaz.
Sorry about that.
Score, headphones off. You guys literally come back, headphones off. You poison spray this guy in the face. Right, let me just I love how I roll his con save. I nearly made him roll a d10. Not even like a d20.
That's useful.
A D10.
I think you should do a d10. I'm up for that plan.
Oh damn! He takes 4 fucking damage. He's only this guy is only a guard. He's not particularly tough. He grasps at his throat, and his face changes color slightly, and then his face seems to peel in places, like crack and peel. And he tries to inhale, and just when he exhales and chokes, just this noxious cloud comes out, and he topples backwards and hits the floor hard, like bouncing slightly in place. Scab lets out like a startled squeal, and then is at your side in a heartbeat, and he lies on the floor, very fucking dead.
On one hand, I feel much better. On the other hand, we still don't have a way out of here.
He is probably... He's just out of reach of you. He's lying there, sort of like his feet just sort of like just out of arm's reach, spread eagle on the floor, very dead. And it doesn't appear anyone has come rushing to his aid. This corridor ends in a simple doorway. You've only had one instance of someone coming in and leaving. When he left, you made sure to sort of look through, I'd imagine, and saw that on the other side there appears to be a stone corridor. So you're in a building of some kind, it would seem, as opposed to just a tunnel.
Okay. And do I get the sense that there's any way to disable this doorway with the...
You rolled like crap on your Arcana. You know nothing about what this is.
Okay.
So, Scab says, you're really good at that. You've got better. Last time you were just really yelly, and then you tried, and he was really mean. And this time he was mean, and well, that guy is now fucked.
Yep.
Proud of you.
Thanks. I'm starting to learn that action is better than words.
Someday.
Wow.
So, well, can you reach him with your sword?
I can try. I will try.
Yeah, you can just about reach him. It's a hard fucking, like, you basically, like, there's a point where it's like his belt is slightly loose and you're like trying to drag him over by his trousers, and it's just like half start to drag his trousers down, and you're like trying to get it just right to sort of pull him over, but you manage to get him close enough that you can reach out, and you end up with a few sort of small cuts and scuffs on your arm where this gnarly door closes in on you if you try and reach out too far, but you manage to draw him closer. It takes you just a little while. However, suddenly, as you reach forward, you see the keys on his belt. Just as you reach your hand forward, Scab lets out a little squeak of startlement / fear as something appears on this guy's chest, there is what appears to be a brain with 4 legs. It is looking at you. It has just appeared out of nowhere, and it is now staring straight at you.
Can I reach this thing with my sword?
You could probably, but you've kind of like, are you making an attack at it, or?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, you could probably, but I mean, it's caught you off guard, and you would have to like pull your arm back and then jam your sword through, and it would not be easy to like. You can't swing. You would have to thrust through a gap that can close on you.
Okay.
If you want to give it a shot, give it a shot.
I will. Is it just like looking at me?
Define looking. It's a brain.
Well, it's facing in my direction.
Define facing. It's a brain.
It is.
Its paws are aligned towards you.
Okay, that's what I wanted. I'll pull back, and I'll ready myself in a way that I could defend myself if it comes at me. I will just look at it.
You hear a voice in your head. Very, very stupid.
Mother, is that you?
No, your mother died a long time ago.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. That's actually made me feel much better. Anyway, I'm talking to what I think is a brain with legs. Am I correct? Great.
Give me a nature check.
I'm great at nature things. Actually, I'm okay at great nature things. That's 17.
On a 17, you know what this is. It takes you a second to sort of stunned of, but this is an intellect devourer, which is basically the boogeyman of the Underdark. Out of character, how familiar are you with these things?
Pretty familiar.
Yeah, they're
super great. Oh.
Yeah, you were sort of raised on stories of these things, nightmarish stories, and they are body snatchers, and there is one looking square at you right now.
And I'm happy about it. Not a problem here.
You have managed to grab the keys, but you have not managed to unlock the door, and Scab is with you, holding on to your... You sort of realize at this point, Scab has your little finger in a vice-like grip.
Keep him behind me. So tell me, since I'm really too stupid to understand, what would something like yourself be doing taking over something as pathetic as that man? Was it all just fun for you? Necessary? Or what?
Our survival.
You have friends here? Kind of look around and they're going to start coming out of the walls and oh god.
It doesn't respond, but you get the odd feeling of amusement that you would recognize to not be coming from you.
So, you're trying to survive. I'm trying to survive. Seems like we're all in agreement here. If you could just scuttle away, do whatever it is that you like to do elsewhere, that would be great.
You think I chose to be guarding you. You think I want this. But it is my duty for now.
Well, I'm flattered that I rank so highly amongst your compatriots. You must tell them thank you when you scuttle off back to them, which you will be doing it.
You have stolen my vessel. I will steal something of yours if you irritate me any further.
What is it you want, creature?
We want your sister's assistance, and
In
you
what?
guarantee that assistance.
I am very tired of people and things being very vague in their requests. What is it you require her assistance for?
Then prove you're so smart. Something you have boasted.
Do you have a riddle for me or something? Do we have the time for this?
Well, you're not going anywhere until you are released.
My sister could be dying whilst I'm here. Great for your plan, isn't it?
She's currently fighting, but she's not dying. The city is currently under attack.
But as you say, I'm not going anywhere. She is. Every second getting further and further away, or closer and closer to death.
There is one thing that I can be assured of. That is, death will not come so quickly for your sister. It is exactly that reason we are using her.
Using her for... You're almost there. You're almost finishing your sentences.
How will your sister react if we have harmed you?
I imagine quite badly.
So we need you to agree. We need
Excellent.
you to be amicable.
I need you to understand that I need a little bit of... this is a two-way street.
You are going to vouch for our people.
You are going to tell me why.
Your sister that we are to be trusted and that you will work with us towards our common goal. And in return...
And our common goal, which is...
survival.
Again, with the vagueness.
So, you are going to convince her, and in exchange, the mewling pup at your side remains who he is now, and not my next vessel.
Firstly, I would like to see you try to get to him. Secondly, this entire situation could be made so much easier and so much quicker if you gave me a straight answer, to which I could happily say yes to, and you could lead me on your merry way to my sister, and I can go, "Oh, Zune, would you meet my new friend? They're wonderful. You know what? We should help them. Wouldn't that be great?" Or you could make things so much more difficult on your part and mine, and the part of your confederates, and the part of my sister, and then if my sister then does find out that you've made things so much more difficult, she will then be much less likely wanting to help you. She doesn't like the difficult people.
Can you roll me an intelligence saving throw, please?
Oh, had a feeling that was coming. That's a natural one again. Hey,
Fantastic.
hey.
On a nat 1, so you are going to take some damage. Here we go. It is... You take 24 psychic damage.
Not bad. Not bad. I think
You take 24 psychic damage, and basically you hear an overwhelming chorus of voices that silence you, essentially, just shouting for your silence, and you, physically unable to form words for a second, and it drives you down to, one knee, splitting your head, and a small trickle of blood just runs from your nose as this happens, just without there's no movement, it doesn't do anything, it just suddenly, these voices come, and then it clears. You will vouch for my people, and in exchange, your little pup doesn't need to suffer. Do we have an agreement, Casno of House Vandry?
I will vouch.
Wonderful. I suggest you rest. When your sister returns, if she returns, we will need to speak at length, and you will need to be prepared to travel.
I am not something to be held captive. We could go to her now. We would have assistance sooner.
We feel more comfortable assuring that she does as she is told. Drow sometimes struggle to understand where they rank on the food chain. And with that, it turns and begins to walk across the face of its former vessel and down the corridor, leaving small, bloody paw prints on the floor.
I won't say anything, but I'll turn and wink at Gab. Give him a nod.
Scab is like gone pale pink, from like a deep red to a pale pink, and like looks like he's visibly sweating. And just, what was that?
It's all under control. Don't worry.
Okay. You're bleeding. What happened?
Remember what I said about talking without action? Well, those things. Prefer to do both at the same time. It can be painful, it can be excruciating. Most of the time, it's mind-numbingly annoying.
As he looks at you and says, "Why did it leave the keys?" You still have a set of keys in your hand.
Interesting. Is there a lock that I see anywhere?
There is a lock on this door.
I want to put the key in the lock.
Takes you a couple of tries, but you find the right key that turns, and instead of hinging open, all of the bars retract into the walls, unmeshing themselves and leaving behind tiny droplets of blood where you've sort of scratched yourself up reaching for this guy's corpse. Outside is there is a body lying on the floor. It is pretty fucked up. You blasted his face.
Well, we have a party to find, and stay close by me. There may be more of those little friends around.
Okay.
And if you feel anything at any point, if you hear anything at any point,
Stab.
tell me.
Oh, okay.
But also, yes to the stuff.
He nods. And he steps out cautiously and just with his boot kicks, or with his foot kicks the boot of this guy. And there is no response. This guy's very fucking dead. And says, "Where do we go?"
I'll start heading down the direction of the corridor that the Devourer scuffled away.
It ends. You didn't actually see it go through the door. You just took your eye off it for a second to look at Scab, and it was gone. But you get to the door, and you notice very carefully hidden into the is basically what is like a dog flap that is very much not part of the original design, but has been hidden. And if you push your foot towards it, it does move ever so slightly.
Okay. But it is like a dog, but there's no way that I would be getting
No
through.
chance.
Okay.
Even Scab couldn't get through that.
Okay, so this is their little.
Yeah, but you have a door in front of you.
Go through the door. I would choose to go through the door and not the dog flap, please.
You open the door. So we're going to cut back to the other guys who are currently... let me just grab everyone.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Yeah. Just take a moment to de-ear yourself from... take the elven ears off for a second and looking at you, Tall Squall. We all saw you doing.
I can't wear them with the headphones. It makes no point. Sad.
Aw.
Hey,
You need to get them like headphones sculpted that like go in.
Sculpted headphones.
Actually, I do have a pair of headphones that are elf ears that I can just put on over top, but unfortunately, the way my setup is right now, I can't do it.
Oh.
Sad face.
Real D&D problems. So yeah, you guys are in the middle of a camp which is fucking like chaotic, and there is a guy squaring off with you, Zune, but he's been stopped, and there is conversations going on in Infernal.
Before we go any farther, I'm going to send you a private message as a DM because there's something that I have been forgetting, and I just want to know if I don't need an answer on that right away, though, because it's kind of a big decision, but I think you should say yes, because you're great. The best DM ever. The finest DM in all the land.
Remember when I picked up the Book of Vile Darkness back in season 1? I've been hiding it this whole time. Remember when I did have hands?
Oh, wait, I sent that to the wrong person. No, I sent it to you, okay.
That might be better.
Agreed. I'll allow.
I think it's a little, for my particular... Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay. So... Right, so yeah, they are basically squaring off with dear old... he's squaring off with Zune. The rest of people are just sort of like collecting everyone. And one guy in particular is marching around, just like checking people. And he's like dragging like this poor, like traumatized shell-shock guy over to people, checking their pulse and going, yep, he died unnecessarily because of your stupid plan. And yep. Oh, this one's dead as well, just because you guys thought it would be a good idea to stand around on pogo sticks.
Who the hell brought the pogo sticks into this? May I ask? Is it that guy?
Everyone nods. Yeah, he comes over to Gregor, like, checks the guy that Gregor literally picked up and held between him as a human shield, between him and the stinger. Checks it, like, yep, very dead, unnecessarily. Had no reason to die, other than you guys had a terrible idea. Yeah.
Great. Well, why is that guy so angry?
Can I put my hand on Spiky Guy's shoulder, seeing as he saw the... and actually at this point, so I've dropped... Yeah, I've dropped rage at this point. Yeah. So the mace does go away.
Yeah.
It's back to just the Warhammer. But I just placed my hand on his shoulder and go... She is not to be trusted, but is not a threat to us.
He sort of rounds on you, like quite aggressively, and then seems to cool off. Like you see, like the haze descend, like leave his eyes for a second. This guy's, not the most pleasant, friendly, huggable kind of guy, but he certainly chills out for a second.
Yeah, it's just Gregor, don't worry about her.
I think I've had enough of this charade.
You vouch for this one. This slave taker.
Oh, when you put it that way. But yeah, she's alright, And
he turns to Gregor. You.
Yeah.
I had difficulty believing that the dwarf would side with our cause given our hatred between our people for all these years. But you share a house with this one.
It's a
House Vandry.
Very complex relationship, a familial bond which we share via...
This is your wife?
Yes. That would make a lot more sense. Yes.
No.
She's in denial.
heroes, and this is
Divorced.
just a minor charade that we have between ourselves. My name is Zune Vandry of House Vandry. This is Gregor Tusky.
Absolutely
and this is
lost her
Gavin
nutter.
Fjordhammer.
She
And
thinks she's me.
To be with us will be my sister, Kazna
She's in
of the
denial.
House of Vandry. And I have had enough.
Roll
We are
me
here-
Roll me a persuasion check.
Yes, I will.
No, not you.
Yeah, dude, opposed persuasions.
I am Zune Vandry of House fucking Vandry.
I used my natural 20. Okay. I'm kidding.
He turns to you both, doesn't look sold on either, and then looks to you, Gavin.
Really?
And
The Undying Heroes? They haven't heard of us?
You know, in the Underdark, dude, we had to like die under a swamp to get here.
And news still travels. There has to be historians here. Like,
Dude, we killed a shit monster in the back end of nowhere.
Having met
are they not on
historians,
social media?
having met a lot of historians in my
social
time,
media.
they do
We
not know
we
fucking
have like
anything.
15 followers. Don't you know us?
God. I continue to stare down the human.
No,
after I'm done.
I look at him and go, with a heavy sigh, I find myself their companions for
my sins.
only the gods know what has thrown me into what I have done to deserve this penance that I am paying. But they're mostly harmless, and I will try to keep them from causing harm to you or your...
Said the guy who just
Your
fucking
plan.
blew up half of those guys. Oh. That didn't happen.
Gavin is obviously frustrated with the fact that he's dad. He's Long March dad.
Like, I'm so sorry. They had a lot of sugar on the lizard ride over here. They just like
Yes.
While the more charming of the group, Gavin, is talking to this person, I kind of bow my head. I need a moment to gather some material components from this beast that I have just slayed for your party. A moment.
Okay.
I have 10 vials on me, and I want to get as much of that fucking purple poison shit as I can
Give
get.
me a survival check.
Do I have any nat 20s right now? No.
This
Okay.
could go.
Nope, you've actually got a
fair.
nat 1.
Got that one, yeah.
It's a survival, right?
Yep.
That's.
I'm a roll a d2, and if it's a 1, you eat a pile of dicks.
Whole pile of them.
Oh, no dicks for me today!
Someone clip that right this fucking second. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be so rich if I live through this. Rich if I live through this.
So that
Dicks for me
shit
today.
just happened.
Screamed the prison guard.
Done. Done and done. Hell Lord, legend, you fucking legend. Okay, so you managed to capture some of this poison. You are going to have. I'm going to give you.
I have 10
You-
vials, so
You did okay, so I will let you roll I'll let you roll a d4 because you have not. This is messy.
Looks
But,
like meat's back on the menu, boys.
this is pretty good, right?
3. Okay, I will let you have 3 vials of purple worm poison, which is fucking nasty shit.
I think I have to turn it into poison before it actually is poison. I think
It takes a little
but I've got
Certainly
it.
bad
You
shit.
have it. So, you managed to get that as people get the fuck out of your way, and specifically a couple of guys come over, and despite the fact that you're getting a lot of dirty looks, probably because of the dick comment, they people around
That
you.
was in character, by the way.
Yeah, that was in character.
She just screams, no dicks for me today.
No dicks for me today. Yeah, no, people come over.
I'll attempt to be charming, and if I feel like I have a good handle on what I'm doing, even though I'm terrible at this, I'll try and see if people will, like, you assist me.
What do we say to the Lord of Dicks?
Okay, cool.
Not today.
Not today.
You can roll me a persuasion check at disadvantage, because you're at disadvantage convincing anyone you are not a dickhead.
That is true. I think I might have a wild magic surge. I gain deception in that makes no sense. Okay, never mind. That persuasion is not that great.
On a 7, yeah, people stay the fuck away from you. People like come over, like they clear stuff around you, and then they just stand and look at you, and you'll just like point to someone and be like, "You there? Help me!" And no, like people just are cold and unresponsive to you. But most of them are trying to like see who's dead out of their group.
Right, they're little hearts. They have feelings.
Gavin and Gregor are sort of still with the majority of the group.
Also, crit success to Zune from Sniper Sean. Thank you, friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I introduce myself to Spikes?
I mean, you haven't got to introductions yet.
Oh, I know. That's why I want to introduce myself and hopefully get his name. So I'll put my hand out and go, "I'm Gavin Fieldhammer. Thank you for taking us in."
He looks you up and down, looks down at your warhammer, then looks at you again, and reaches out a hand and shakes.
Yeah, I shake his hand.
I am Aquila.
Oh shit! We're in a geese! That's an older reference now.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Aquila.
I look at him. Alright, mate, my name's Gregor Tuscan. Ooh. Sorry about the whole Zune thing, you know how it is.
He looks you up and down, sort of.
I look him down and up, because I'm small.
Fair enough. And says, I saw some of your handiwork, Black, and the prison.
The prison? That is a callback. Yeah, I guess you probably have. And you know that me and Zune and Gav here, trying to do the best of make the best of a bad situation here. Sorry for lying to you, but you can tell that we're on the same side now. We both, fucked up the big worm for you.
You killed a lot of my friends.
Yeah, well, they're in the way, and you know what happens to friends, are getting away. So no hard feelings and all that.
We are still trying to determine who is friend and who is foe in this place.
Yeah, it may well be that we have been lied to by a bunch of fucking drow! I shout over at Zune as she's getting the poison out the ring. So,
you had 4 vials, you now have 3 as you managed to, one of them spills slightly.
Yeah. So it may be that we had a case of mistaken identity in who the bad guys were. For that, we're really fucking sorry about that,
We were told that... It's a long story. We were told that we thought the drow there were our friends, were defending themselves against another infection. Their capital city had been taken over. You were then attacked, and they asked for our assistance to earn their trust. So...
Wait, I mean, let's be honest here, they didn't really ask us. They had us bent over a fucking barrel.
As my friend so colorfully says, yes, we did not have much choice.
We were like a bunch of whores down the docks. We were like a monk at a monastery.
He looks you both up and down, specifically paying more attention to Gregor. and says, "You don't seem like them. You definitely don't.
No,
like them."
No, we don't like them. You see, the thing is, I happen to know where a couple of people that we care about are. They got them locked up, you see.
Yes.
Right.
We are missing another 2 companions. Another drow female and a young tiefling child that she has taken into her care.
He
We're gravely concerned for them.
Slowly to look at you. You would risk. You would go to war with people over a tiefling child.
I've gone to war over less, mate.
I'm Gavin Fjordhammer. I would go to war over any child.
Creepier than I thought. Than I think you meant that to sound, but still, he means well.
Give me a persuasion check.
And just letting you know, if depending on how this goes, I will use my DM's inspiration.
Okay.
It's a 17. What's do I need to? I will add to it. Yeah, I want to knock this out apart. What is it? A D12? What's your inspiration die as DM?
I'll give you a D6.
A D6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make it a D10 simply because it was a joke about Zoon's hand. So I'll give you 1 inspiration for each finger she is.
Finger. Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's a 4. So that takes it up to a 21.
21. So you, I mean, you have like the look of a man who like unshakable look, and he actually breaks eye contact with you first. Like looks a little taken aback and confused, but looks over and like just pulls essentially what is like a stone table close, or it's just a lump of stone that's got a flat surface, and he drags it over and takes a seat. Doesn't offer a chair, like any way to sit down for anyone else, but he makes himself relatively comfortable, and he takes the blade, sort of his hands out of the blades, puts them down, and these individuals that they have, they mean a lot to you.
They do.
Yep.
And what do they want in return?
They wanted us to go up and fuck up this guy who had taken over a drow city with bad undead things or
A
something.
lich apparently has taken over their capital.
They're not wrong. We know of what they speak. We made the mistake of coming down too close. We didn't know there was going to be anyone there. But it was the largest cavern we could find, and it looked deserted. We moved into the town, figured we could take up refuge there, maybe some supplies, and then they came. And it turned out that despite the fact no one was living in the buildings, it didn't mean the town wasn't unoccupied. We had maybe 100 or so folks with us. We lost at least half our number. They came out of every tunnel, every direction. It wasn't an army, it was a wave, a flood, a tide. Some of them ancient, others fresh. All of them of one mind.
That is
Pretty much what we expected, I guess. Insurmountable odds, undead overlord, impossible plan to free 2 of our friends that we're likely to never see again on a mission from the fucking worst guys on the world. Do you think you could point us towards that cavern? Because as bad as it sounds, we're gonna need to go down there one way or another.
If you're doing this all for your friends, I wouldn't.
Well, they're not
don't
really
see-
friends, mate. They're family. And this here is pretty much all we got left of that, so you understand that we don't really have a choice in this.
Maybe you don't understand. That place, once you go in, you're the only people we've ever seen come out themselves.
We go into a lot of places like that.
You obviously don't know of what I speak, but your friends, they're not your friends anymore. I guarantee that. They have no use for people who aren't part of them.
Oh. Do you have Gavin remembering what they saw when they first came into the cavern? Do you have a way to detect those who have been taken? I saw you apparently discovered one of your own had been infected, overtaken by one of those brain things. You immediately dispatched of it, though, and immediately realized there was something amiss.
We have found a way to drive it out, but it doesn't save the vessel, the body, the person.
How far away is Zune?
Why do you ask?
Zune is not particularly far away, and he's not been saying this particularly quiet.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So we'll have to come up with a plan. Perhaps we have some way to protect ourselves.
The only way we've found so far is through a spell. It is one that a cleric has.
Interesting. I myself am a holy man. Perhaps it is something that I could learn to cast as well.
Something that protects against evil.
Evil. Yes.
It drives them out, but by then it is
Too late.
too late.
Does it protect from them getting in? Or at least assist?
We don't know. We've never seen it happen. If someone is caught by these creatures, they don't wake up. Not themselves, anyway. And there's no way of hiding from them. If one of them sees you, they all see you.
This is really fucking gloomy. Can we get on with the part where we get to it and just get on our way again? It's been a really fucking lovely seeing you all, but we gotta go off to the bad place. So, gonna take a rest, probably take a shit, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yes, if you could give us a safe place for the night. But as we have told you, this is no longer a mission that we can turn down, even if it means that we go to our deaths.
There is something you should know, but it's probably best you hear it from him before we kill him.
Oh, one-eyed man! You have the man with one eye.
He nods. You know him?
Oh, that guy.
I assume I still have some pretty good bruises on my neck.
Yeah.
He assisted. We were chained by a magical device. He assisted in the removal of it.
He nods and okay. Well, we should have a look at. Well, you could speak to him, but he killed one or two of our friends, and we have a score to settle.
Understood.
And he stands and picks up his blades, and he begins very sort of forlornly to sort of trudge through this wrecked camp where most of the bodies have sort of been piled as far as they can drag them from the worm. And the worm itself, people are actually digging, like trying to dig into the ground ever so slightly around it to stop what is basically stomach acid that is seeping out and threatening to sort of spill out further and eating through the rock. They're trying to dig sort of like a small gully to stop it from becoming a real problem. And they, he leads you over to one of the only sort of, it's basically a cage meant for some kind of beast. Definitely too small for a human to really be in, but curled up in a ball essentially inside. Very uncomfortable looking is a filthy looking individual wearing a head wrap that covers one of his eyes. And he smiles, chuckles as he sees you coming.
I'd like to walk up with Gavin at this point.
Gregor's finished taking his dump. He'll come see the guy with one eye.
Was it good?
It was like, I don't know, Gregor's are like quarter health right now, so he probably didn't take too much pleasure in it.
Okay. That's fair enough. You guys see that he is like being kept essentially in what is like a dog kennel or dog cage. It's not pleasant at all, and he sort of tries a wave to you guys. He is surrounded by guys who have sharp implements, who look like they've stabbed him several times.
This is the man that took the collars off of our neck.
Yeah,
right?
we owe him one.
So
Yeah, the guy who gave you to the best hash ever, and you just blazed up in the middle.
Oh
of the
yeah, we totally got stoned. I high five soon. Yeah, that was a good party. That guy.
It was indeed. What are you doing with this man in a cage? He saved our lives.
You got any more of that?
He's
was it cube, sphere? What was the name of it?
The sphere.
Sphere.
Yeah, they point to him and sort of say, he's one of them.
He's an intellect devourer.
Whatever they are.
I find that incredibly hard to believe. Intellect devourers tend to go after creatures of intelligence.
He did take our collars off, Zoo.
Looks to you and just, I'm not sure if I should take offense to that. Well, insulting my intelligence, but you are the one who missed all the obvious signs.
You knew they were... So you admit it. You admit to being one of the creatures.
I am condemned to die here. There is no point in lying.
Insight? Insight? Can I see?
Roll me an insight. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't use my nat 20.
Oh, and in that 20, this guy's not bullshitting you in any way. He literally is probably about to be put to death. He has no... They fucking... I mean, you just saw them literally firebomb the absolute crap out of a guy they suspected to be. He's admitting to it, and it's pretty much...
This is perhaps one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. There's so much to learn from a kept intellect devourer that's willing to share information. Don't kill him. You're...
Wait, what? He is an intellect devourer.
Everyone fucking turns to...
I was like, even Gavin's just like...
Everyone fucking turns...
Are you kidding me?
This is a scientific opportunity that is almost impossible to pass up. How many people across the whole world can say that they have a caged, behaving intellect devourer? He's already said that he will fight for his life just to stay alive. He'd probably be willing to trade its life to stay inside the cage, at least until this mortal coil is killed.
I know
she actually makes several very good points.
I know she's crazy, right? But that kind of makes sense to me. Especially if we're going into the fucking lion's fucking den of intellect devourers. We got one right here. We can ask a few questions,
Exactly, I could be of assistance.
And then we could fucking kill him anyway, couldn't we?
I would be willing to trade you a fresh body for long as you stay in the cage if you work with us.
Not sure that we've got any fresh bodies available.
A chance to live beyond what you have here. There are slaves for purchase in other places.
About 8 people raise bows, knock arrows, and aim them at Zoom.
yeah, we don't really like slavery, Zoom.
A couple of people like have fire bombs ready for you. Like, you have just pissed off everyone.
I know
they are
slavery's...
battered, they are bruised, but no one is fucking taking this shit.
I know slavery's a really cool thing where you come from, but roundabouts here, not so much. I mean, we can ask him some questions, but let's not make any fucking deals of the devil, eh?
That's unfortunate.
Aquila just turns to Gavin.
Gavin's face palming.
Give me one reason I shouldn't slit her throat right now.
Because if I'm going to a city full of undead, I need a necromancer with me.
There's a few pauses, and then he says, and she's a necromancer.
Yes.
One of the very best.
Best of the biz.
And that is your idea of defending her.
It's all I've got.
There is a split second. There's like a slight crack appears in his hostility as he realizes he's talking to a broken man.
Yes, like Gavin's just, I mean, he's lost his arm. And he's in the Underdark because she brought him here, and because all of the dark elves are going to welcome, Zune of House Fandry with like palm fronds on the pathways. Yeah, that's gone really well for us.
I mean,
Gavin doesn't say all that, but that's the look.
His eyes tell 1,000 tales.
Yeah.
Yes.
I look down at the poor intellect devourer and I inwardly weep for the loss of the chance to learn something so wonderful, and I just kind of shrug at it like, you're fucked, dude. If it comes to me or you, I guess it's you. Thank you for removing the collars, if there's any part of you that is still you in there.
Yeah, surprisingly quite a lot. That's why they don't like me. And why I live on the outskirts of town.
So you've been avoiding taking human captives then, and just attempting to live?
I've been researching and performing things that are not entirely within the hive's best interest. But you see, there's quite a lot that happens. It's difficult.
Zune does something very out of character. She titters like a little girl, kind of. That's amusing.
I think she's got a crush on you. Question for you, buddy. Something which isn't in the hive mind's fucking best interests. If we're going into the lion's den, is this protection from evil thing gonna do us any good?
Yes, it is quite effective at driving us out. It'll kill this form, but I will be fine. But I am vulnerable when I am exposed, and that's why that one over there died in a blaze of glory. You see, that's something that they don't like you to know. So if you are in the city, there is every chance that if you make any sudden moves against them, they will simply overload your minds to the point of unconsciousness, and you will never wake again.
Okay. Do you have a connection to the hive mind in the area?
I have somewhat of a different connection. I was, I suppose, lucky enough to choose this form, and this form, as you learned, has a history of extreme narcotic abuse, which has somewhat addled our connection with everything around us.
Didn't they teach you to stay away from drugs?
They didn't teach the one that I took, and actually there is quite a lot you can learn from mind-expanding drugs when you are, well, nothing but a mind.
If you have any tenuous connection, do you know anything of my sister? Does she live?
Your sister is being held in the pyramid, not far from our leader.
Your leader? Be specific.
We're gonna cut. So,
What?
Hey, Louise.
Hey, Josh.
Louise, you come to a corridor, and you open it, and
Indeed.
on your left there are 4 guards standing about 10 foot down the corridor, shoulder to shoulder, blocking the passage entirely. They have shields in front of them, not in like a shield wall, but like in front of their torsos, forming sort of a blockade. The corridor to your right is unblocked. They react in no way whatsoever. There are tiny little bloody paw prints that lead in the other direction. You have been spotted almost immediately, but they don't react.
That's absolutely fair. Okay, so very heavily armed corridor. Completely empty corridor.
Yeah.
Clearly
Scab.
something important in this corridor. And there's something not so important in another corridor.
Ooh, and Sniper Sean cheers to give a boss monster to aid Kazna and help her. Sniper.
Okay.
The clutch.
Guess which corridor I'm going down. God! I want to start walking towards them guards. Very casually.
As you start walking towards them, their shield wall goes from casual to very much less casual, and they level spears at you.
Didn't you hear? I thought you were connected or whatever. We're all on the same side now. Isn't that wonderful? I work for you. You help me out by pushing the spears away and not doing the stabbing. We all go home happy.
You are wanted in the other direction.
Well, that's wonderful, but I'm headed in this way.
No, you are not.
I think you'll find I am. See, if I was headed in the other direction, I would be in the other corridor. Physically and mentally, I am in this.
Not another step.
We'll take another step.
Can you roll me 4 intellect saving throws?
Yes, I can.
Holy shit!
That is bad. That is a bad question. I do not approve of this question.
Intelligent saving throws, you say?
Yeah.
Cool. That's an 11. That's 16.
Oh, one
That's
crit
an
success
11.
for Kazna from Sniper
What was
Sean.
it?
A crit success to
What?
Kazna.
I'd like to use one of my crit successes on one of the 4 things.
Okay.
Definitely one of the 11s.
Yeah, okay. You are going to take. You take 28 psychic damage.
Fine by me. No problem.
Right. I just need to.
MBD, mate. MBD.
No big deal, buds.
You are still on your feet, but they have not moved. They literally, you walk forward and it's like you walk into a wall of screaming inside your head.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Kazna, 2d10 of healing from Sniper Sean. Thank you, my friend.
Brilliant. This is a good day. This is a good day.
Sniper's just like shooting the dice at people today, man.
Just keep going.
Damn.
Keep going, guys.
Boom!
That's 15 health I get back.
You are.
Boom.
Wonderful.
Are you continuing onwards?
How far away from them am I?
You're about 10 feet from them.
About
And
10 feet.
Yeah, they
Okay.
so far haven't done anything other than make your head feel like it's going to explode outwards.
Okay. And can I have told Scab to stay like a few?
Scab is hanging back just like in the corridor you just
Yes.
came out of. Just
Wonderful. Yes, I'd like to step. I would like to step towards again. Before I do, I'll give me a nice smile.
good,
You will
important. You use your
regret-
action to smile.
I use my action to smile.
Yeah.
You know, you're smart, aren't you? You should know that you'd regret doing that again. I'm going this way. We are on the same side. I'm going to have a step forwards.
Okay, you take another step forwards. You are now within 5 feet of them. Are you? Is that what you're doing?
I will hold my action for when if one of them does the thing, I'll hold my action.
It's all coming at once, I'm afraid. Can you roll me 4 intelligence saving throws, please?
I will. 19.
Trout Christmas
19.
coming
19.
early.
Oh, damn.
8.
Hey.
22.
Oh, damn. That was some solid rolls. Okay, so you can take 11 psychic damage and...
NBD.
Fantastic. You are stunned. You now have intelligence score of 0. You are unable to move, pretty much do anything right this second, and you pretty much crumple to the floor in a heap.
What?
You have your intelligence reduced to 0. You are no longer able to function at all. And the last thing you hear is sounds that you recognize from a voice that you recognize, but you are unable to understand what they are, as you no longer have the ability to speak or
Great, wonderful.
comprehend languages. But you have a hazy recollection of it being someone you were close to, someone you felt a bond with, someone who was your ward, someone you were protecting, as they come to your aid and begin to scream in pain. And you black out.
That's Scab.
So this thing that's meant to come and help me, Josh? Yeah. Any news?
So,
Do I check the timetable on that one?
Kasna, you wake up. You wake up in a room that smells very strange to you. It smells acidic. It smells, it's sort of like caustic. It burns your throat, your eyes. It is unpleasant as hell. And in front of you, there is what looks to be a huge sort of a huge bathhouse. And in the center of this bathhouse is the largest brain you've ever seen in your entire life. And you feel it permeating through your mind. You are not restrained, but you are entirely unable to move. And a voice in your head whispers, Kasna of House Vandry, you are becoming more of a liability than you're worth. And we're going to hope that that means that you have a friend. Yay! As we're going to wrap there, guys.
Oh, that's bad news.
We're doing great, guys. We're doing great. We killed a purple worm.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You remember that boat? You remember that boat that was going to take you to the Freelands? You remember that? Remember that cruise you guys were going to go on? Wasn't that a good thing?
Yeah. Remember Gavin wanted to go? Gavin wanted to go on a cruise. It was going to be pina coladas the whole way. To the Freelands. Yeah, let's get the underdog.
Now, I will say I had a deal with Louise while she was away. If she could guess where their plot was going, I would give her a yacht in game.
I did.
But I will point out that you guessed it as I literally was telling everyone.
Where's the yacht? No. It was 4.
Bullshit.
And then you were like,
anyway.
So I'm waiting for my yacht. Just
Waiting for my yacht.
Okay. Floating in the pool with the giant brain is a tiny toy yacht. There you are. There you are. A little bath toy.
Correct.
There we go. So, over to you, Will.
Yeah, well, my friends, this is where we're going to wrap up tonight's episode of The Long March. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let us know in chat. Got a lot of people out tonight. A lot of reactions throughout the day. Woo! What a show. If you enjoyed it, and you have not yet followed the show, hit the follow button and join us. We're going to be back again tomorrow. Another 2 shows on tomorrow. We've got Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors, which starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then we have at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, The Sands of Zahir. Here is the schedule for you guys. And of course, you can go back. The latest episode of The Long March is being uploaded as we speak to the YouTube channel, so you can go there and check it out. There's a whole bunch of series to go back and watch of this. So if some of the craziness didn't make sense today, then go back and you'll get even more craziness, basically. Thank you to our sponsors, D&Dice, for supporting the show and for keeping us going. And let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Josh, what do you think of tonight's show, my friend?
This was like I know Laura Lanier kind of well with regards to sort of like stuff she's afraid of. So when she genuinely was like, "Let's go back to the Underdark," and I'm like, "I wrote some stuff you don't want to go see. I'm not going to say anything, no, because you're really enthusiastic about going there." And I tried to warn her. She paid no attention. This is the punishment you'll suffer. It's all her fault. You can find me on Encounter Roleplay doing Encounter Roleplay things, but if you can't get enough of some of the horrible things that go onto the party, listen to me suffer on Turncloaks, which is me and Tall Squall and the wonderful Sydney and the wonderful Joseph is not fast.
There's some other guy involved in that too, I hear.
No.
Nah, he's a dick.
No, he's a dick.
He keeps making bad things happen to him.
He is a dick.
Suffering, and to the point I still feel kind of bad, but I punched Will the other day.
Yeah, Josh punched me the other day, and he's like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm sitting down in my chair, and I'm like, I have a drink in my left hand, right? And then Josh comes over and punches me in the left arm, and then he's like, "Oh no, your drink went everywhere. I can't believe that." I was like, "Well, it was in my left arm, Josh." Which is just.
It did just come out of nowhere. Like he stood up, went to the kitchen, and out on his way, just ran.
Oh yeah, I can't punch for shit, and it was like the one punch I ever landed that was really good. And I was like,
"You're like my own hands."
I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I remember because I can't say why I punched him without spoilers, but I fluffed everything up, and he was just like, I don't understand. No one understood why I punched him, and I just looked like a complete lunatic. I apologize for that. But you do this to us with the crazy, horrible stuff you put us through on Turncloaks. Don't know what we're talking about? Check out the Turncloaks.
Yep, this is the podcast there. Awesome. Laura Lanier, what do you think?
I am here on Twitch. I also do Dungeons and Dragons and Hunts. And though everybody's bitching about coming to the Underdark, I have already made my trip worth it. Oh,
Girl,
that.
Don't even right now.
More on that next week. Don't miss out. But yeah, if this is all we've had to face so far, Josh, bring it. Bring it. I'll take on your whole hive mind, motherfucker. Like, let's go.
Stab his brain in the.
This is the worry when Laura Lanier has 8 hours of sleep, she gets fucking like.
I have slept. Let's play D&D all day. Let's do it. Let's go.
Amazing. Tosquo.
Hey, I hit a purple worm like a Mack truck. So I had a great game. You
also got to do the superhero backflippy uppy thing.
I got to do a superhero backflippy thing. I rolled 2 natural nat 20s, got donated some nat 20s. So yeah, I had a good day. I am Tall Squall. You can follow me on Twitch if you go to @TallSquall. But my pinned post links you to all the different things I do, including the Vice, which is a campaign that I DM for, which we run 100% for charity on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Amazing. And Louise.
Yes, I got out of jail and I've got into a brain party, so I'm having a great time.
Brain spa
with a yacht, so I can't wait to see how that goes. You can find me between now and next episode on Twitter at no less. Twitch is Accidental Legend. I'm rebranding, that's going to happen, but not yet. And yeah, on the Wonderquest podcast, which is a beautiful time. And I didn't punch Sydney when I met her because I'm not a psychopath. We had a great conversation.
That's it. Well, add on another 3 years of friendship, and do it and playing D&D, and you'll get there. Don't worry, you'll get there. Amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're back on tomorrow for Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors. I'll be in the DM seat, punishing my players with sanity checks as they finally get to Dunwich, which is going to be super fucking exciting. Not Dunwich, they've been to Dunwich. No, I haven't. They've been to Arkham. We are going to Dunwich. I know what I'm doing. I better go read my DM notes because I've got a game to run tomorrow. Until next time, everybody, try not to throw too many net ones. We're going to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Nailed it.